Can you repeat that, Ray?
We don't have a quote. What are we going to start with? I'm so confused.
Hey, you guys can quote me
Hello.
if you want.
Hello, meat popsicles. It is an amazing episode today. We are celebrating our 100th episode.
And I heard everybody brought their multi-pass.
Yes. And Stella was she's with me, you know.
Hey, I just thought, man, we can quote something. We can quote Robert. And you know the drill.
Okay, I'll quote Robert. Here you go. It didn't have a happy ending.
Oh wow. So for all of you out
He's got
there,
beer. He's fine though.
yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. For all of you out there who are listening and you hear a new voice, or for all of you who are actually a month later watching our YouTube channel and wondering what is that fourth person in there, this one is how we normally call him, the ghost member or science fiction remnant. Miguel is the creator of every music for science fiction remnant season 1 and season 2. Hello, Miguel. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you guys been?
Awesome. So yeah,
It's been awesome
you've
behind the
been-
scenes.
Oh yes.
The pre-shows are always better, man. And we just do it so everybody can wonder what the heck, and they can pay our only Giants.
Only Giants. Only Giants.
Yeah, and I'm creating a new branch of science fiction, erotica. It's gonna be called Science Hub, and it's for sapiosexual porn.
Yeah.
Where I say
Okay,
very
so-
intelligent
I can see
things
that
that
actually
makes
happen.
people orgasm.
Quoting myself. Moving on.
Moving on.
Miguel, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and where they can find you?
Well,
Does it have
guys,
to be
my
your
name
address?
is Miguel Angel. Now my address. Oh, I thought they wanted my address. I'll take visitors. My name is Miguel Angel, Migs Angel, also known as Myiami. I am a pop artist and music producer from. I was living in Miami. Now I live in Boca Raton, Florida, and that's what I do. I produce music for other artists. I do theme songs, jingles. I do a little bit of content creating for businesses selling products. It's my thing. It's what I do.
Awesome. And of course, if you hear our music throughout all of Science Fiction Remnant, that is his music. So, we really, really appreciate, him being able to do that for us. We're thankful.
I enjoy doing it every time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Me too, man. I enjoy doing it every time, man. It's the best thing ever, right?
Okay, so you probably got noticing we're having a complete different format for this episode. Our idea is making it like a celebration, a party, because we reached that milestone of 100 episodes, and we are very, very thankful for everybody that has been with us in this journey and helping us in all kinds of ways. So, Gio, we have a long list of people that we want to mention,
Yep.
for helping us out through season 1 and season 2.
We do. I mean, it's long. Doesn't have that much girth, but it's long, bro.
So the first thing before we jump in, the first thing that I want to point out is this is SciFi group that we have. I think that is one of the things that help us the most. Not necessarily the show, but our goal, our dream, or having one location for SciFi where we can share. I mean, it's not all about our show or the content of our show, which is SciFi, And it is really amazing for us that we have this hashtag, this is sci-fi, where you go and share what you love and we all enjoy. Because not necessarily what you love is something that is could be known to other
Mhm.
people. And if it's within the branch of sci-fi, we're always hungry for sci-fi. We love sci-fi. We want more. So there's nothing better than to actually see the passion that other people have for the stuff they love for us to enjoy just as well. So I'm going to go ahead and play the this piece of audio we have played in every single episode on season 2 for a very good reason. And if you are a sci-fi creator, especially a podcaster, and you want to feature this sound on your podcast, let me know and I'll send you, because it's not all about me, it's all about sci-fi. And one of the ones
And about me too.
and Captain Chaos, if you come here, it's all about Captain
It's about Gion too.
Chaos.
Only GNs. Only GNs.
So yeah, and one person that I want to mention on this group that has also done the same thing for this hashtag and for this audio that I'm going to play is the podcast Monorants. They have actually played this at the end of every episode, and we're going to thank Monorants. By the way, we had them in previous episodes, so you guys should not only listen to those, but go and listen to them. But we want to thank them because they're helping in promoting the sci-fi love, which is what we love. So here is the clip. We are Science Fiction Remnant.
This is the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
We are the Caribbean Science Fiction Network.
We are Monorats.
We are One Accord Level 2 Podcast.
This is Jesse from Sudden But Inevitable and Open Pike Night.
This is SciFi.
And of course, if you hear that last voice that you probably might not know, that's another thanks that we have.
For the love of my life.
Nikky from Dear Nikky. I would have to say, if you are over 18, you want to go and listen to her podcast. It's an amazing podcast, but it's not safe for work. But
And you had to have 18 to go to work, so.
It's not safe for work, meaning you don't want to put it on speaker at the office.
Unless you're okay playing 50 Shades of Grey.
I did listen to an episode of her after we had our podcast. I remember you guys mentioned her. I'm like, oh yeah, this is erotic. This is not something that you want to pop in your headphones, put your screen face down,
Yeah.
Looking at your crotch.
But it's great. And the reason why I say it is great is, and I actually mentioned it in the episode that we had her on, is because, she's doing something that I wish would happen, where you lose the stigma that comes with any sexual topic, and there's always a big stigma. And why I love that show is because she's giving a voice to other people to express themselves, and I think that's fantastic. So we want to thank Nikky for providing the voice of This is Sci-Fi, and it's a clip that we played in every single episode on season 2. So Nikky, we love you. Thank you so much for that. So now, Gio, you can take over. I guess one of the things that I want to do in person right here is Miguel. We know that you did not charge us for anything on this podcast, and we did it. You did it from the bottom of your heart, and we needed that audio, and you provided not only once but multiple times.
You own us. We're your bitches, man. I can make you a sandwich whenever you want.
Owned
Whenever
by
you
Myiami,
want.
son.
I
That's
can
what
make
she
you
said.
sandwich whenever you want. I'll make you a sandwich, bro.
I can use a sandwich right now. You're in Lake Worth. Let's go.
I made
So,
some good
yeah,
jamón con queso, bro.
jamón con queso. That sounds so good. So yeah, I just want to. I'm very glad to have you on the episode today, because not only because we get to share with you finally, because we consider you a member of this podcast, although you have not appeared as much as many of us. I think you had like one appearance on season. Was it season one? I think it was season one.
I think,
But
yeah, one, yeah.
yeah, but you have been in every single episode in season two and most of season one as well. So thank you so much for your um for your wonderful audio and the soundtrack of what it is, this science fiction remnant today. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, once you go
No
Miami
problem,
sounds,
guys. I
you never
believe
go
in
back.
Miami. You know, see, once you go Miami, you never go back. But no, I believe in you guys. You know, that's why I'm like, why, there are certain things that I do work for a price. I don't want to do it for free. But there's sometimes there are projects that just come up, and I'm like, I really believe in this, and I've known you guys of mine, through Joanne, so it's like pretty much like family. So why not? Why not help somebody out? I'm pretty sure one day I needed help. You guys would be there, and you have. So it's totally cool with me. Whenever you guys need an audio clip, whatever you guys need, let me know.
I'll make sure to abuse that.
Well, I have to write something for yours, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he needs a jingle for his only Gian.
Yeah, I
I'll
will.
make a jingle for his only Gian.
Oh, bro, this is gonna get good.
I'll make a promo video. I know a few OnlyFans girls. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Hey, bro, I need that. It's on air. It's recorded. I don't care. Think about the children. Yeah, man, I'm gonna be swinging. I'm gonna be swinging an empty swing, saying this could be me playing with a kid, but you swallow it.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
We already are, man. I'm going full on. I don't care.
That's
the reason.
Miguel, that's Captain Chaos, man.
I mean, I do this, man, because I can just imagine somebody in their office listening to it on their earbuds, spitting their coffee out of the surprise. Why not?
Oh another one that I wanna say thanks to is one of my favorite authors.
Wesley Allison, bro.
Yes.
Yes. It was a fun experience to have him, man, and it was an honor.
It was definitely an honor. I really want to thank him for agreeing to be on our show, obviously. But
we're gonna force him to it. I just
kidding. So definitely. Thank you so much. He helped us promote that episode as well on his social media.
Yeah.
And it was a great episode because it's amazing when you read a book and it's like one of your favorite stories. And I don't know if I mentioned this before on air, but I was like, you know what? I read this story a long time ago. This is long prior to my to creation the creation of this podcast, and I said, I wonder. I sent out an email on. I found his website, and it's like, listen, it's okay if you don't, but I would love to have you on an episode. We want to cover your first book, which, by the way, I still have it here, very visible on every episode.
And the other one right back.
Yeah, I have his whole
Now
collection.
tell me you, Miguel, what do you think about that? Who wouldn't love a robot girlfriend, No headaches, always there for you.
Oh my.
If you got an argument with her, if you got an argument with her, you can unplug her.
I don't want a girlfriend. I don't care if it's a robot or a real one. I'm good.
Man, the girlfriend is okay because you can unplug her if you don't like what she's saying or reset her.
So
there's a few other products you can buy that don't talk.
Hey, Robert came out with a very, very good idea for What it was, Robert? A vacuum vagina?
Oh my god! If you guys are not in the know, I write some. I don't want to say I'm a writer, but I write some erotic sci-fi, and he got to read one of my short stories, and that's where that's coming from. So
Well, for the record, that's the only one
Oh,
like
we
that.
gotta
Actually, Robert has very
we gotta
good
make an
stories.
episode where you read those out loud.
No, we want to do it. We want to do it, but we want actually Nikki to read it.
That would be
might
great.
better. That might be
Nikki's
better.
gonna read it, bro. Yes, then you got it, Nikki. You gotta read Robert erotica
Oh my
story.
God.
We'll do it on your show, so that way we don't ruin it.
Sci-fi erotica, it can't come on the show, you know. You gotta
Yeah.
put the sci-fi part in there.
Man, it's better than Barbarella, and Barbarella was good.
It's like
Don't
putting
get me wrong.
space in front of things. You put space in front of things, they always get better.
Yes.
Space vacuum. Yeah, see, it's always.
Okay, I'm surprised that Ray is actually participating on this.
This is going a complete different direction.
Okay, I'll interject. and
We're
move
very
on.
lonely, man.
Don't you remember Mega Maid from Spaceballs?
Yeah. Well, I want the keyboard from actually Barbarella. I need that, man.
Yeah.
So I can play for my ladies on Beethoven.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
and next, actually, Robert, I don't know if you know, and Ray actually gonna like this one. Is a group of individuals that have a special place in our hearts. It's Alita Army, the whole army.
The whole army.
Who's that?
The
don't know.
The
whole
Alita Army, man.
army.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much, not only for making us part of the Alita Army, which I know, Ray had mentioned this, the bar is very low. If you have seen Alita and you want a part 2, you're a member of the Alita Army. So
The bar may be low, but the quality is very high. That's all I can say.
Yes. There's that quality that we find in This Is Sci-Fi of, the love for a property and no judgment and no negativity. And I love that about that community. So if you love Alita and you want a part 2 and you're not a member of the Alita Army, go search it and go become one. It's one of the best communities that I have seen, and I thank you so much for everything that the entire army has done for us. We're science, and I'm not afraid of saying this. Science fiction Remnant is in our hearts part of the Alita Army because we want a part 2. There's so many people to mention. I mean, there's 2 that I can mention here. Ray, maybe you can help us with a couple you want to feature. Angelus, has been on our show a couple of times. He's been in both Radio Chaos and the Alita live stream on Friday. Greek Indian, Creaky, also part of the Alita Army. He runs the Alita live stream on Friday.
And it was his birthday this week.
Yes. And
he turned 74.
Nice.
Young man.
Yeah. And we actually were lucky enough to join both of those live streams. Radio Chaos was a little late because we were kind of busy, but we managed to make it. So it was a lot of fun for both. In the live stream, we got to see Rusty Angel, which is the Alita anime, and we kind of share our comments. And on the Radio Chaos following day, we got to do a watch party for Alita, and that was a lot of fun as well. Ray, is there anybody else that you want to mention? I mean, the list is so huge, and I feel so bad because I can't mention each one of you guys. So if you have any,
I know that those 2 guys have had a lot of contact with Science Fiction Remnant. I'm not sure about the rest of the crew because they're all they all have busy lives, and when they're expending time on the Alita army, they probably don't have a lot of time for anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how many others listen, but I do know that Angelus and Creaky are very
Yes.
keen listeners. So thank you guys, and anybody else who's listening and hasn't let me know yet, let me know. It'd be great to find out which of our episodes are your favorites, and get a little bit more conversation going.
Awesome. So another one that I want to mention is the crew of the FSF podcast.
Oh yes, it's been fun every time that we're there, man.
When we had them on our show, when we are on their show, it's amazing.
The last episode we did with Tim, right?
Yes,
And
Brian
Blake.
directed.
Yeah,
Brian
it was
directed.
interesting episode, man, to do.
Awesome. So yeah, thank you for everything you do. You guys are amazing. I am a fan of the podcast. So I listen to whenever you guys release an episode. But also, whenever we need something in a form of an advice or anything that we do on the production side, or whatever questions we have, even when we are feeling down, you guys are there for us. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support that you have provided us. We really appreciate it.
The next one that we have also, man, actually was very fun to have them, and they have shown a lot of support to us since the moment that they joined us, and it was actually quite an honor to have them on our show talking about their material. And is James Walton from the Stagnant Water Comics.
Yes, amazing comic, and can't wait for the second book when it comes out. He we really think he makes us feel very honored, because as soon as we started coordinating to have him on our show, he started listening to our show, and he very fast became a fan.
Oh yeah.
And he surprises me how he's like, he reached out on Twitter and said, I listened to this episode. Oh my God, this is amazing. Or it's this that engagement that we
Constant
normally
support, man.
It's so he became an immediate fan, and he let us know that he's a fan, and we are just tickled to death. Thank you so much uh, um, for your comments, and we are so glad that you like our content.
Yeah, keep on tickling Robert, man. I love it.
Hey, Robert, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Do we have any 1-star reviews yet?
No.
1-star
Because
review?
I was told you haven't made it until you've got a 1-star review.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
man,
yeah,
that's looking green for us, really. I don't think that we
I have
make
a
that
few
kind
friends.
of material.
I have a few
Maybe-
friends. Don't worry, I got you.
All right, man. Hey, I love it, man, because there's no such a thing as bad publicity.
If you haven't attracted
the
a
words of
hater, you
that-
haven't made it big yet.
I
You were
said
gonna
it
say-
before we started the podcast, and in the words of that man whose name I cannot say on live stream, attention is currency in today's society.
Yes,
Voldemort?
it's true.
Is it Voldemort?
Voldemort.
Voldemort.
He who not must
Something
be
like
named.
that, He's seen as Voldemort.
It's true. It's true. I actually love that guy, man. If you know, you know. That's one of those moments.
He's more like the modern day Batman, but
Yeah,
he's
he's a badass. That's for sure, man. He's a millionaire and a badass. It's kind of a Bruce Wayne, yeah. And actually, next, man, we have somebody that actually is also a very, very big supporter of us, Jesse from Sudden But Inevitable podcast.
Jesse is amazing. He is the host of Sudden But Inevitable podcast, which I am a total fan, and he is a host in Open Pike, which is another podcast. If you are into Star Trek, mostly into Star Trek, but if you like watch Strange New Worlds and you're not listening to Open Pike, you should. You're doing
and I
yourself
mean,
a-
I want to take the opportunity to like let everybody know from the FSF podcast from Jesse Sodom and but inevitable. Oh my god, dude, what the heck is going on? I'm not even drinking. Open Pike Night, they have a Discord channel just like we do. So, like, if you want to engage with them on conversations about anything that you like on the topics that they cover, we cover. I don't know what you're waiting for to join Discord. I think it's a great forum for you to actually engage with other people with shows that you like and actually get to talk to the hosts of those podcasts or radio shows.
Awesome. And we, of course, we're all members. So
Yeah. So we'll be there. I'll be there to make your life impossible. So go and join. Next.
You're sharing around the impossible now, are you?
No, man. I mean, when I am like chaos to the square root, I become impossible. But when I'm actually like surprising you, Ray, especially you, I become enigma.
Keep working on it, dude. Keep working on it.
I got you last episode. You know it.
I'm the first to admit when you say something that sounds vaguely plausible.
Yeah, I got both of you and Robert, make you guys drop your draw and say like, okay, we're not needed in this show anymore. It's on record. I actually had to repeat that list, that 20 seconds. I had to repeat like 30 times. Like, oh, yes.
yeah, if you guys are not familiar to what we were talking about, just go ahead and download our last couple of episodes, and you'll get an idea of what's going on.
Yep, that's what happens when I stay sober, man. It just gets worse.
Hey, Robert, do you think what's happening in his head is different from what's happening in the rest of the world?
You bet. You bet. If that wasn't the case, I wouldn't be an outcast within outcasts.
Absolutely.
Dude, we don't want to be.
I'm like the elite 1% of outcasts.
If you guys have seen the movie The Cell, yeah, that's what's inside his head. So we don't want to be there.
No, man, I have a monkey with 2 plates. Watching everything in the camera.
Like, as we're streaming on it, because this is my first time on this platform, do we get comments as it gets streamed?
If you're streaming, like right now, this is pre-recorded, but if we were live, you will see actually the comments on the side coming up.
I just want people to comment like what color is their Bugatti.
Oh.
Don't worry, don't get it.
Put your comments. We do read and answer our comments on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
So go ahead down there if you're on YouTube. A month after this gets released, let's put all your comments in there.
Yep.
I'm gonna get a lot of love hate for that one, but it's all right.
Well, you know who we're gonna mention next, Robert?
Oh yes.
It's
yes.
one of our top supporters, man, and favorite people to talk to. Actually, I love every time that we're being in his show and he's being ours. The Burn with Cinema Recall, man.
Cinema Recall.
Great pod, man.
We have been a couple of times. He has been, I think, once on our show in season 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
We have to correct that, man. He has to come back for season 2.
Well, we've been twice on his, right?
Yes.
And I love the last episode we did with him. It was Existence, right?
Existence. Yes.
Oh, man. That movie is in our blacklist, bro.
Yes. And we'll eventually do it. It's going to be one of those movies that we, try to avoid it for now because we have a lot to say.
Yeah. I kind of imagine when we record, it's going to be like Lord of the Rings trilogy version podcast.
Oh, wow. The Burn, thank you so much for everything you do. You're awesome. You're awesome.
Yeah, and he's always giving us shout outs on his social media platforms too. We do appreciate him. And I mean, we hope that his shows keep on growing, man. For real.
Yeah.
Who do we got next, man? I got actually one of my favorite persons to pick discussions with.
Look, if you're familiar with this name, you are familiar with long conversations.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we love. Long, deep sci-fi conversations.
Girthy conversations. The heretical Sayadina, bro. All the way from Dune.
Thank you so much. Sayadina, we really, really appreciate the engagement.
And I mean, it's always fun to talk to her, man. She's like the fire in the life of the chat in the council sometimes on Twitter, right?
Yes, yes. So,
Who do we get next,
and
man?
well, we're sad on the next one. You know, we had some great conversations, and this person volunteered to be our first Discord moderator,
Mm-hmm.
and we lost touch, and we 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 miss we miss Captain Kiyoshi.
Yep. I don't know where
So
you are, Keo, but you better show up, or I'll get a detective to follow you.
we love you. We want you back. So this is the reason why we're mentioning you here is for everything that you have done in the past for our show. We really, really thank you. Um, you have taken it upon yourself to do everything that you did, and we want to make sure that you know you are appreciated. So, Gio, who else?
Actually, this person loves an IP that you adore, man.
Hmm.
Who?
Who?
Doctor Who?
Who? Who?
Who?
Who?
Who?
It's
Who?
Ian from Call Connection, man. The best
Awesome.
dude in all Ireland.
Ian is amazing. His podcast is called Connections.
Yep.
You guys, if you're not listening to this one, and you like those cult classics, you should be listening to it. Great podcast, great mate. Um, Ian, thank you. We had you a couple of times. I think it was in season one.
Yes.
We haven't had back on season two. I think it's because of the time difference has made it a little complex, but we are still working on something to bring Ian back. So, Ian, thank you so much for everything you have done for our show, season one and season two. We really appreciate it.
And we hope to have him
I
back
thought
in
I
our
thought he was
show.
gonna say when you said Doctor Who, I thought David Tennant for a second.
Oh,
I'm like, what? I love Doctor Who. Doctor
Hey,
Who was amazing.
we aim high. Actually, the reason that we have not covered Interstellar is because we refuse to do it until we get Neil deGrasse Tyson on our show.
ooh,
That
That
would be
movie
amazing.
is oh yeah, that movie is actually reserved for him.
yeah,
We
we have
Yeah.
a
refuse to
couple
do
of
it. And next, actually, man, we have some guys that we actually have fun. I love watching their stream all the time. I catch them on
well,
Twitch all the time.
what I love, and if you guys, when you hear the name, you probably know what I'm talking about. But what I
The
love most
chemistry between them, man.
is the chemistry.
Yes.
It's the yin and yang, and it is awesome. It's freaking awesome.
Most of the times, you feel like a yang and yang, like they they just disagree all along. But that's what I like is seeing their very different point of views and how they come together all the time. These the sci-fi wise guys.
Yes, and the reason why we call Ray Pie.
Ray Pie.
Say what now?
What happened, Ray?
Well, just to let you know, Ray's after you. He's gonna collect.
Jesus.
But yeah, the guys are amazing. We had them on our show a couple of times now, I believe, and
Yeah,
it's always amazing to have them with us um, because it's some of the things that we have talked in the past is the fact that it's okay to disagree as long
as
as
long
you
as I'm
don't.
right, it's all right, man.
It's okay. It's okay to
He
disagree.
has a
As long-
PhD,
There you go.
I do.
There you go.
Very, very peace.
a PhD in negotiations.
And a VIP. You know what's a VIP, man?
I don't want to know if it's coming from Captain Chaos.
You don't have to know,
I don't
man.
want to know.
Once you feel it, you know it. Oh, oh my God.
Oh,
PhD and POQ.
Oh hell no!
Quoting Robert. Moving on. We have this one stands out on her own class, man, because it's not another podcast, it's not another radio show. She's a time traveler and the best makeup artist barista ever. from Applebee's. It's Madison on air.
Madison on air. Madison, we love you. Chrissy, we have to have you back.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Just practice your patience, because I am just gonna be as dumb as ever all the time, and I just get more nervous around girls that I like. Madison Sandy, she's one of them.
Well, that's why you're nervous because I'm here.
Man,
Oh,
no, I feel comfortable around you. That's like another step above. That's bromance to
Oh
the
my
top, man.
god.
That's like bromance all above.
marriage couple, man. Okay.
We romancing here, man. This is like a polyamorous romancing right here. The four of us, the perfect square.
I think tonight we're gonna go on a date to 2 days.
2 guys.
Oh God.
2 J's, 2 J's.
So, if you guys are not familiar, we actually managed to do something that I always wanted to do since season 1 with Chrissy from Madison on the Air, and is actually trying to have a character on our show, which is something kind of hard to do because it has to be scripted, which is something we don't normally do and not familiar with. So if you listen to our episode on the radio broadcast, escape my mind now.
The world, the world.
World. We managed to do an episode where we had Madison Standish dropped on our show and we interviewed her. And it came out amazing. I loved it. We were fumbling around because obviously we don't do script good. But
It was hilarious, bro. We just fucked it up all around.
it was a fun episode.
No scripted.
We just messed it up so bad. It was just hilarious.
Yeah, but it was
And that's what
really
makes
good.
it so amazing. It's like plot, maybe. And that's what's so amazing is that she was able to just keep it straight all through, even though we just messed it up. Like we were just looking at each other like, dude, you're lying. Dude, you're lying.
So yeah, and we had Madison back for our Back to the Future episode as well. So it's a lot of fun when
Yeah.
Chrissy is with us. So thank you so much for everything, for every little thing you had done for us. We really appreciate it.
And next, man, we have one guy that is gonna put out of the competition Neil deGrasse and Bill Nye. He's E. Lee Zimmerman, the science guy. And he's from SciFi's history.net, actually.
Yeah, he wrote an article about us. So you guys should go and look it up. And very short, but straight to the point. Thank you so much for
You heard that?
everything you do.
You heard that, E. Lee Zimmerman? You gotta do it longer.
So yes. And again, I'm not saying anything. So if you guys want to know what we're laughing about, go
YouTube.
go to YouTube, subscribe, like.
Yep.
So
Ring that bell.
yes. So Ely Zimmerman, thank you so much. Not only for the article that you wrote about us, but also for the engagement. We really appreciate it too.
Who's last, man?
Oh, it's all about the manga.
Yeah, Sean and
All about those
Flopcast.
mangas, all about those mangas that they start and they never finished.
Yep. That's what I love about this show, man. Actually, it gives you like, it's like one of those things like you're gonna find something great that's gonna hurt you because you don't get to finish it. It just continue.
And
Sean and Flopcast.
Sean and Flopcast, and they kind of remind me to the Sci-Fi Wise guys in the sense that not only they have that similar chemistry, but they watch a lot of stuff they end up hating that is crap, and they do it. We do it because of you. We do it so you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing. So thank you.
That takes
Sean.
dedication, man.
Yeah, I mean, considering that we don't do anything we don't like on this show because we're trying to keep, trying to keep the negativity, but it's amazing when someone is able to do it and makes it fun.
Yeah, there's a reason why we don't do negative like reactionary reviews here.
Yeah, no.
Well, man,
So-
now we're gonna move it to the tier 2, no, tier 1. Thank yous, right?
Yes.
And
We
what do
have
we have for the
tears on
first,
the
man?
thank yous. Where are they?
Well, these, I mean, we're nothing with our supporters, but these people actually directly made it possible for us to be here today, and for us to have made all these episodes, starting by Let's Chat Network, which thanks to them, we had a great season 1, fantastic season
Thank
1,
you so much.
and we're thankful that they allow us to be part of that network, to interact with them, make collaborations. It was a lot of fun having them in our show. Chris, Bree, and Chris too, because there's a Chris Ball and reveal, and then
Yeah.
Bree Paul too. It was fantastic having them and talking to them. And I mean, I hope that someday we can be having back in our show, you know.
Definitely. Definitely.
And second, actually, we have Blind Knowledge Network, which we're thankful to have them also be part of them now. And we have a fantastic season 2 that we're going through now, thanks to them. And we have to continue there. They have a great array of content creators too. And I mean, it's fun just to be in their Discord channel, chat with all the people that create things, get notifications from things that are coming out new, fresh, and get to see them right out of the oven or out of the radio or computer. Right?
Yeah.
Who we get next, man?
We want to thank, not only GoodPods as an entire, system, but all of all of you who actually voted us in GoodPods multiple times as best, number one best fiction podcast and science fiction podcast. We really, really appreciate GoodPods for providing that venue for people to actually vote us into those places, but also to everyone that has gone into GoodPods and has voted us a number one. So we really think we're honored to be multiple weeks number one in those out of 100, which is something that I really, really appreciate. And again, you're in silence, and I'm not going to say what it is, but you got to listen. You got to go watch the YouTube and see what
Yeah,
Captain
I'm just
Chaos-
being. Yeah, I'm just doing some things in camera, but I mean, if you want to find out if I'm topless or something, you gotta come to YouTube to watch it.
Yeah, you have no idea if we have a topless Captain Chaos here.
Yeah, and I mean, don't forget, I made the promise, and I'm a man of my word. Yeah, I'm a man. But once we make it to 10,000 subs,
Wait, you're a man?
yeah, bro, and Harry,
I thought you were lasagna.
Harry, and no, it's not Harry. You're a wizard, no. But finishing that thought, once we get 10K subs, I'm tattooing in my ass whatever you guys, our followers, decide.
Oh, wow.
One cheek though. You don't get both. One cheek.
Oh Jesus!
If
So,
not,
so you're
Jackass
only
all
doing
over
it.
again.
So you're only doing it half-assed, are you?
yeah, I'm a half-ass guy, man. I don't go all the way in. It's like Adam, and you know what one cheek told to the other, right? Do
I
not
don't
cross the
want to
line.
know.
Do not cross this line. But if they don't get to choose, the idea is the original idea we came up with in our Halo episode. It's gonna be a Spartan doing the heart sign, saying "Spartan in the streets, lover in the sheets,"
There you go.
which is just as great, right?
I like
That
that.
one
That's
I
good.
I like that one.
That's a great idea. I like that.
Hell yeah, man! We just need to get 10K. We need to get them pumped up about something, right?
Yeah.
And actually, next, man, we have somebody that has made, a company that has made all this possible too, which is Anchor FM and Spotify, for giving us a platform for us to actually create and share our content, which has been a total blessing. You know, it's fantastic that they have these kind of tools that allows and give so easy access for us to be able to actually spread our content so easily all across so many different medias too, right?
Yes. makes it a lot easier, and this could be
Impossible.
you could have been a lot more difficult, and they made it easy.
Yeah. Sticker, Ray.
Sorry, which sticker?
They couldn't make it a lot difficult, but it was a lot easier.
Oh, you want this one? You want that, do you?
Yeah, of
There
course.
you go. There you go.
And
And
actually,
then 9 months later, you get that.
no, because I'm gonna tell them it's not this because you swallow it.
Oh my God. If you guys see my camera go off, you know why, right? Go ahead, Captain Chaos.
Well, actually, where we are right now, Restream. Thank you so much for actually giving us the platform also to share our content, for actually getting back to Robert whenever he had a suggestion or a question about services and ways to actually improve on how the services could be done, and always being proactive with us and basically being such a great platform, man. I mean, they are fantastic. They make also easy to reach out a lot of other uh, audiences that are in different medias, such as YouTube, and the editing process, they make it a lot less painful for you, Robert.
Yes.
So it's also a great blessing to be able to have their services and being able to share our content through all these medias. And last but not least, we have Apple Music, YouTube, and Pandora, which are actually in our metrics. We'll get more in depth on a little bit more in depth on it. We don't want to bore our audience with numbers only,
Yeah.
But we're thankful to be able to be part of those medias and see through our metrics too that we reach out a good amount of public through them too. It's good to see that we are able to have a variety of channels where we can reach out to people.
Yes.
And I'm tired of thinking, man. We're done thinking. Now let's talk about what I like, me.
There you go. There you go. So for
You
all of
say
you,
me or meat?
well,
No,
don't know.
me. The meat, I beat it.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh. So for all of you,
Oh my God.
who for all of you out there who actually follow us, I posted a while back multiple venues that we were going to do a 100th episode of a science
I
fiction.
found a really old picture of GM.
Yep. That's why they call me the champion, man. I won that race. I'm proud. Every time that I saw the drain, man,
Always
I
over
just
one.
backed up. Every time I saw the drain, I just backed up. I was like, no, bye guys.
GM, you were very lucky you didn't see the tonsils.
It could have been confusing, but at that self-aware, I would have noticed the difference from back then.
Oh my God.
Gion's biggest fear is coat hangers.
This conversation is taking a dark turn.
I'm telling you. So
I told everybody, because Robert and Ray are not contemporary of mine, but if they want a picture of me back when they were teens, I can. I don't have a problem. It's gonna be my father hairy testicles.
Okay, so moving on. What I what I was saying is, I posted a question for all of you out there that we're gonna do a 100th episode. And if you wanted to be featured on this episode, we basically are going to have kind of like a conversation. Then I ask all of you out there to call in our hotline, which is 1-305-563-6334. And we have some voicemails for this episode that we're going to comment about. Now, remember that voicemail, you can call anytime for in any of the messages that we get, we will play on our next episode. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play some of the voicemails that we have gotten, and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll play them and then we'll criticize our audience.
Don't listen to Captain K. Well, actually, you know what Captain K. If you listen to us, you know Captain K. So,
That's what they love, man. I've earned that love.
so here's the first voicemail.
Hey guys, this is Melvin, aka Robopulp on Twitter. Yeah, I just saw your tweet and I wanted to say thank you so much for including me in that list of people that you put together, the podcasters and other people who just talk about the stuff that we're crazy into. Just wanted to say hello. Thank you for your content, for putting that out there and sharing it with us. And I also wanted to mention an IP that I'd love to see you guys discuss, but I am not going to say the name here. Instead, I am going to DM you. And I'll do that just to keep it secret, and then you guys can unveil it later. Build a little suspense when people listen to this, okay? So have a great weekend. Thank you again for including me and for just being a part of that bunch of people. Bye.
Melvin, that was tasteful. I loved it. He kept it secret. The man knows the inner ring procedures.
Yeah. So Melvin Cartagena, he actually sent us an email that I'm going to go ahead and read, and we can talk about it. So the email reads, "It's Melvin. His tag is Robopulp on Twitter. I wanted to say thank you again for sharing my name with all your friends by including me in that list of creators in Twitter. I truly appreciate this. I just left a voicemail to say thank you for this and for your fun episodes and to suggest an IP. I didn't say the name of the IP on the voicemail, but I wanted to build suspense by sharing it with you first with you. Here's the IP. It is a great forgotten sci-fi movie from the 80s. So I'd love to see more people discussing it. And if you're interested, I can join in on the discussion too. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for your interest, Mel Cartagena. And the movie that he's proposing is called Runaways. Runaway is Tom Selleck. I don't think I have heard of this movie before. Have you heard of that movie, Ray?
It's a 1984 movie, apparently, so it's a classic.
Yes, and I feel sad for not knowing about this movie because I don't know. It looks interesting. So we're gonna have to add it to our
watched it in
list.
high school.
You did?
I mean, man,
I had a professor who was
in high school,
very sci-fi, and I watched Soylent Green, and I think I watched Runaway. I don't remember what it was
like,
about, but I think I remember watching it.
I mean, anything that has Tom Selleck and his beautiful mustache, I'm down. Hell yeah.
The very short synopsis is: every day one robot malfunctions and kills a human. Jack Ramsey, an expert in rogue machines, and his partner Karen Thompson investigate the homicides and discover a shocking truth. Dun 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 dun.
Yes.
Watch the movie to find out.
Shocking truth.
So yes, you know what? We might have Melbourne on the show for this one.
Hell yeah.
We're going to add this to our list, and we'll reach out. We'll definitely reach out and discuss this one. I almost feel sad for not knowing about this. It looks pretty cool. I'm actually kind of watching it's kind of like a trailer that they have on IMDb.
What was the production company? Was it like an underground film?
TriStar.
TriStar Pictures.
Yeah.
The director is Michael Crichton,
Michael
which is actually
Crichton.
a big director.
Dude, yes. This is a
Michael Crichton's a big author. I don't know that he was much of a director.
well, yeah. It was a director. Let me see here. Because there's a lot under his, he's obviously, if you know him, you'd probably know him
Jurassic
from
Park.
Jurassic Park. Yeah, so this has big names on it, especially big names from the 80s.
It had an $8 million budget, but it only made 6.7 at the box office in the USA.
Probably became actually a sleeper movie.
Well, that's what I get from Melvin. That it sounds like from his point of view, it's a sleeper.
Yeah, man. I mean, like novels that are very known from him, like The Andromeda Strain, The Terminal Man,
Yes.
The Great Train Robbery, Congo, Sphere, Jurassic Park, Rising Sun, Disclosure, The Lost World, Airframe, Timeline, Prey, State of Fear, and Next. Those are like big names that are known all throughout up to 2006.
Wow.
hmm
Yeah, we're definitely adding. I'm reaching out to Melbourne.
We'll have you on the show, man. You can count on
Yeah,
that.
we'll have you on the show.
I don't want to disclose what I'm drinking, but
Hey, man, we're
I need a
drinking here.
refill.
Robert has beer.
You
And
guys
I
are
mean,
drinking beer. I'm drinking rum.
I know. You know what we Dominican said about rum, right? Whoever drinks rum either have to do two things: it's gonna fuck or fight.
You got a monster. I've had three. I have rum, coffee, and water on my desk right now.
Oh man, you're gonna fuck like you have it's more cocaine or something. Because that's what we
See
say
no
about.
evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil, isn't it?
That's what we
Rum,
do.
coffee, and
No,
water.
we say that in Dominican Republic. If you drink rum, you either fuck or fight.
More like go to sleep.
Ugh.
Maybe.
So the
Or just write some more E EDM.
okay, this is from right here. You know,
See, I saw this the other day. There's a fourth one, and it's holding its genitals.
That's
And
fine.
I think that's the one to
Holding
do
his-
with Geo.
Hey man, the only difference is I am able to use both heads at the same time.
oh god, there's certain things I don't want to know, but okay.
So it's speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil, and don't stick your dick in the crazy.
No, don't touch me there. This is my no square.
Oh my God. I am gonna die. Okay.
We all are.
Moving on to the next voicemail is from someone that we really enjoy having a conversation with on Twitter. Is our best friend Kelly. Sent Yorgi, thank you so much for the
Yes.
engagement. We you have no idea how much we appreciate you. Thank you. Here's the voicemail that she sent us.
Hello, Robert, Giancarlo, and Ray. This is Kelly Zent-Georgi, or Antipodal on Twitter, calling to congratulate you on your 100th episode of SciFi Remnant. Best wishes and congratulations. As a lifelong sci-fi fan of novels, TV series, and movies, I love to support sci-fi resources. Live long and prosper, and may the force be with you.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. And you know what? This is, I think, mainly the reason why we get along so well. She is doing what we are trying to do. And I agree with her 100% in supporting all of the sci-fi resources that we can get our hands on, because that's what we love. We love sci-fi, and you know, there should be a way for us to support each other and grow this community even bigger. Within, you know, the sci-fi, and you could be a writer, you could be a director, a podcaster, doesn't matter. If you are a sci-fi creator and a fan, you know, that there's that unity that I strive for. So what do you guys thought about that? I mean, have you, I know Gio, you had some engagement with Kelly in the past. I'm not
Always
sure
enjoy it,
Ray
man.
had.
She's fantastic, man. This is the kind of audience that I am glad that we have. It's always fun to have a conversation with her, and it's what I was telling you in the pre-show, and I told you in previous episodes. Like, it's the kind of people that I like to go out society for. You know, I don't like to go out there to have chit chat and small talking and just talk about trendy shit. You know, trash TV. You know, it's about talking about existential issues, science, things that make you think, these things that make your brain work for what it's made. You know. So I'm always appreciative of her engagement, her conversations. Her conversations be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.
Yes. Heck yes.
Mwah.
It's all
Hey,
about the love
we've
of
covered that movie. I remember.
Yes, we did. Party
Yep.
on, dudes.
Dude.
Bill and Ted.
Yeah, bro. The best time travel ever, man. Finding Napoleon in a water park was excellent, man.
San Dimas, California.
Yeah. So
Who we got
Kelly,
next, man?
yeah, before we move on, I just want to make sure that Kelly knows that we really appreciate her
Oh, we adore
engagement.
her, man. I hope that we can continue to make great content that she can enjoy, man. And if not, blame it on me. I'll take it. Hate
And
is a
thank you for
stronger
that.
emotion than love, so I'm happy to have it.
And thank you for that voicemail because it enabled Gio to actually pronounce your surname. He was really struggling before that.
And maybe we need to have Jesse call in and say the name of his podcast so he can also learn how to say that one too.
Sudden but inevitable.
Jesse, call in.
It's not my fault, man, that my brain sometimes go faster than my tongue, and my tongue is fast.
Okay,
Where is
so
it? Where is it? I gotta find it. Where is it? There it is.
Yep.
There we go.
I was afraid of that.
Like, well, you have a few like pre-written notes just like laying around.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
We have to be prepared.
Oh, shit. You got them all prepared.
Yeah.
I have to when it comes to Gio.
Yeah.
That's what
Because
she said.
you can't, you have to prepare.
That's what she said.
So the next one is a podcast that we had on our show before. I am a fan. I hope you guys are too. Oh God. And I get distracted by Captain K showing me something on the stream. So here goes the next voicemail.
What is up, meat popsicles? This is Ro from the Scare of Scuttlebutt podcast calling you straight from the Windy City here in Chicago. It's very windy and very cold right now, but I wanted to leave a message. Congratulations on 100 episodes over there at the Science Fiction Remnant. I'm glad I found you guys. You guys are fun, and I'm really glad that you guys invited me to talk about a subject I know a little bit about. It's Star Wars. Que bueno. Thank you guys for that. But, congratulations. 100 episodes is a great benchmark. Moving forward, looking forward to your next 100 episodes. And remember, you guys are always welcomed here on the Scarif Citadel. Whenever you guys want to chit-chat, a little sci-fi, Star Wars, or anything else you guys want to talk about. We love movies over here, so check it out. Excellent. Happy 100th. May the Force be with you. And that's the Scuttlebutt.
May the Fourth be with you, Ro. And actually, I'm gonna take him by that offer. I'll be just there like a
All right,
resident.
I'm back. I don't know what happened. I'm back.
Yeah, so Ro, thank you so much. We really appreciate your engagement. It's always amazing. It's also part of that sci-fi group that we have. So we're sharing this is sci-fi. He's also part of that group we call the Crossover Connection, where we actually are posting each other's episode on our feed. We had him on our show before, and can't wait to be on your show. Thank you so much for your support. And again, like I said, I'm a fan. You had me at Star Wars, so are we ready for the next one?
Oh yeah, at this point, man, my sphincter is relaxed. Bring them all on.
So I'm sure the next
Just when you thought that I could not get worse, don't even think it, Robert.
No,
Because I'll prove you wrong. That's what he said. Yep.
The next
children.
I'm gonna scar them for life.
In this episode, I'm gonna die.
This never happens.
So the next person they called our voicemail, left a voicemail. We really appreciate him. Great supporter of the show. We are actually fans of his show. He's always had great guests on his podcast. And here is the voicemail.
Hey guys, it's Tim from the FSF podcast. just wanted to call and congratulate you first and foremost on 100 episodes. It takes a lot of desire and dedication to hit 100. I know that we've hit 100 ourselves, but you guys do have a great show, and I'm a big fan and supporter of your show. So please keep going. I can't wait to see what you guys do when you get to 200, 300, and more. So with that being out of the way, here's my question for you. Other than a love for sci-fi, what was it that convinced you to create a podcast? And is the format we have now of Science Fiction Remnant what you guys originally dreamed of? How is it different? And how is it the same? All right, guys, can't wait to hear the answer. And congratulations again. Looking forward to your 100th episode.
That was a great question. Thank you, Tim.
Tim, great.
That was a great question.
Thank you so much for again. Thank you so much for everything you do, and thank you for the comment. We really appreciate it. Now, I think that might have been meant for me, but I want
But
everybody.
I changed it. Then everything changed when you attack.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm gonna.
And I mean, let's put something out of the way, Tim. The FSF podcast is what we aim and strive to be like. We look up to you guys. You guys have a wonderful, magnificent podcast show.
What is the phrase? We want to be like Tim.
You want to be like Tim. We're gonna do actually a hashtag to say we want to be like Tim.
So I'm going to go ahead and answer that question, and after I'm done, you guys can give your comments. So basically, I have been trying to create a podcast. I want to say since 2001.
Since it was actually you were trying to create an RSS feed.
Yeah. So I remember actually building an RSS feed where you had to actually put in a link to where the audio clips are going to be. So you needed to have a storage location with actual I want to say file names, but not. It's actually URLs directed towards the MP3 itself, and then you have to code it into the RSS feed. So if you're old school, you probably know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you probably feel confused on what I just said. But basically, since 2001, I wanted to create a podcast, and I had many documents on my computer. I always keep stuff on drives, and I found it's kind of interesting how I find those old documents where I planned this and I planned that, and it usually never worked out. And for X or Y reason, maybe either I got busy, work got in the way, family got in the way. So recently, I want to say in 2022, I found one of those old documents, and I said,
2022? I think we're older than that.
Huh?
We're older than 2022. We've been
think
on
it
since 2021, man.
No, I'm sorry, 2022. I meant to say 2020.
Okay.
So I think it was January or February. I can't remember the exact date. It was about the beginning of 2020. And I found one of those old documents, and I was like, you know what? This is enough is enough. I will never have the time, right? Things are always going to get in the way. At that time, I was as busy as always. And I said, you know what? This is something that I always
Excuse
wanted
me.
to do. Huh?
Excuse me for being busy.
Well, what I'm trying to say is my excuse for not doing it is because I was busy. And
That's a
I was
justification,
thinking-
not an excuse.
Exactly. I was in retrospect thinking, how busy I was in the past that I put that excuse as not to do it. And I realized that today I was a lot more busy than I was when I say I couldn't do it because I was busy. If that makes any sense. So,
Does it make sense, guys?
I'm just gonna it's gonna get worse.
I'm trying to make sense out of it, Robert. I just can't.
Was that English?
Well, basically, what I try to say is, I am a lot busier today, a lot, than how busy I was when I said I couldn't do the podcast. So I realized, you know what, I'm just making excuses. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Me and Gio were, Gio at that time was living at my house.
I was staying
And
in the doghouse on the back.
the doghouse. So I love sci-fi. I always loved sci-fi. And every
Do you?
time there was a conversation, at the office or with friends, that conversation would turn into hours when it comes around the sci-fi topic of any topic. And then we were sitting down and I was showing Gio sci-fi, which at the time he did not realize that he liked sci-fi. It's just he was just watching movies, that appealed to um his
Intellect.
intellect.
My intellect.
So we started watching, like, I can't remember which movie it was. I think it was like about an hour and a half, and it turned to like 3 or 4 hours because we
Wasn't
would
it Ready Player One?
Well, that's actually worse. That's one of the worst ones.
That was
That one,
6 hours movie.
yeah. And the reason why is because we would pause it and talk for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then continue. And I was like, you know what? I want to do a podcast about sci-fi. That got me motivated to start something. So what I
Yeah, then he
did,
told me that I was cute, that he liked me, that he wants to be with me, and that's the only possible way.
so
Oh my god.
here's how it started, right? I had at the time I had a book club, and at the time I was reading
That's what they call it.
Autumn Fowl. I don't know if you guys have read that series. It's an
Oh, I
older.
love that series.
I was reading Artemis Fowl, so I said, you know what, I'm going to do a podcast. I did kind of like prepared a monologue. It took me about, I want to say about 2 weeks, full of content about my experience with that book. And at the time, they announced how the movie was coming out. And it was the hardest thing I ever did. And when I sat down and recorded the episode, which, by the way, you guys are welcome to download, it is the very first episode, season 1, episode 1, book Artemis Fowl. It was 7 minutes and 5 seconds long. Really short. I hated it. Now,
That's like a beer commercial for this podcast.
Yep.
Exactly. But see, number one, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I wanted to take the show.
You plug in that's what she said, man.
There you go. So I didn't know where I wanted to take the show to. So
come on, Ray. There you go. Upside down, son.
That was
So then I said, okay, I didn't like how this turned out. By the way, when we get to our stats, I just want to mention this into perspective. That episode, the Artemis, it's actually number 7 most downloaded episode across season 1 and season 2. Now, Gio says it's because it's short and it's an easy listen. It was also full of content, all compressed into one. But regardless of what it was, I hated that episode. So I decided that I was thinking, okay, we were watching these movies with Gio, and
we try to write content like a script and things for it until my brain broke, and I was like, no, dude, we're doing it a cappella. Just jump in it.
So
roll with it.
I actually kind of scripted our second episode, season 1, episode 2, John Carter. This is John Carter. I tried to
Another
script it.
great movie.
I wrote a lot of stuff for that episode. However, and I brought in, as a matter of fact, if you look at that episode, Gio appears as a guest appearing in that episode. And we didn't, I don't think, Gio, we didn't use anything of the stuff, anything that we wrote.
Nope. Not one bit. And I was just laughing my ass off out of it. And it was a good length episode too. It was like 2 hours at least.
It was exactly 31 minutes 32 seconds.
The John Carter?
John Carter.
Oh, it was longer.
So
it will be longer now. Right, Ray?
So that's when I realized I listened to that episode and I wasn't sure about the format that I wanted to do, but I know that's what I wanted to do. And what I liked the most about it is the chemistry that we had on that episode. So then I asked Gio, okay, I released this. It was actually on May 30th, 2020. And I told Gio, hey, Gio, this episode came out good. You want to come in as a host and we can make this our thing. Obviously we learned, I learned I can't do monologues. I learned that I can't do script. So then we planned to record our episode on Gattaca, which was released on, it was June 6, 2020. It was 40 minutes and 37 seconds.
And basically, Robert just came up to me and told me something like, wait up, I'm going to tell you now in a little bit. But it was very interesting conversation because it got me very pumped up about it. It was like, Gio, I want to talk to you. We got to do a short podcast together. The chemistry between us is just fantastic. We have to. We are meant to be together in a podcast.
Exactly. Thank you.
We do podcasts together. And Ray made the trio fine.
I'm going to ask
a love triangle.
I'm going to ask you a question, Gio.
Yes,
you
Ray,
remember how many times you mentioned on that episode? Spoiler.
Oh, we start with the spoiler shit, like for half of season 1.
Spoilers. So why I'm bringing this up is the fact that during season 1, we knew pretty much what we wanted to do, but we had no format, no concrete format. It was actually kind of working for us because of the numbers. One of the things that, in retrospect, needed to be changed was a mention of a lot of mentions of spoilers, right? So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because as we got more listeners, we got comments, we got engagement. That's one of the first things that I remember where someone said, okay, maybe you should cut the spoilers. And
who was that?
I can't remember right now, but it was there was a couple
it was one of my favorite listeners at the time.
Talk about.
It was one of the favorite listeners at the time. He was a listener.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think so far, and Ray, correct me if and the reason why I'm directing this towards you is because on season 1 you were a listener. So something
but let's make something clear. He was instrumental to the format that we have today. That has been a lot much better. Like you can see the improvement throughout the season.
But we're gonna get to that. I'm trying to step it up step by step.
I just gotta cut you out, man.
That was a spoiler.
Yeah, that was a spoiler. So what I'm trying to say is the fact that I am real careful, or not necessarily real careful. I'm trying to listen to the audience. So that if you listen to the show during season 1, you could see a gradually change in format from the very first episode, obviously, because that was completely scripted, really short, to the format that we have on our last episode, which, by the way, is still number 2 most downloaded episode. Season 1, the last episode in season 1 was um, Darling in the Franks. So when Ray came on board for season 2, and this is something that what Gio was talking about, we decided to change our format completely, redesign the format. And
Just for you, Ray. Just for you.
Ray proposed to have the science, a conversation about real science. And I was 100% in. You have me at science. I love talking about science. So the idea came from Ray, to where we actually find a couple of articles that are related to the topic that we were talking about, and that became our segment. So I think I answer all the questions. We did not have a concrete picture of what format we wanted to across season 1 and season 2. I think it evolved from input from our audience
Yes.
and from everybody else. So, granted, there's some things that we did not change based on a few comments, because the overall people decided on something else. So I do hear everything. So if you have proposed something and it had not come through, just know that we thought about it, we discussed it, we did a poll, and it turns out that most people prefer the other stuff. So
Yeah, your idea wasn't good. That's all.
no.
Straight to the point.
No.
But hey, it was necessary for us to determine what was good and bad. So bad ideas also are welcome.
Yeah, so I don't think that
And a horrible host, but I'm Captain K, so it's okay, man.
Yeah, that is Captain Chaos. Basically, what he's trying to say is that if you have a comment, we are going to listen to. We might not necessarily make a change or act on it, but we do listen to all your suggestions and opinions.
And
So,
hate mails are to be sent to me straight.
so based on what I just said, Gio and Ray, what is your thought on the answer to the question and that I proposed for Tim's question, basically?
Well,
You want me to
Jan,
go first, Ray?
You're more senior than me, so you go next.
I'm more what?
You're senior, man.
Senior.
Yeah,
I
you're
like
senpai.
that. Sanjo senpai.
Yes, you should be my senpai in this situation.
I mean, we've seen the evolution of what Sci-Fi Remnant was at the beginning to now, and it's been a great experience because we've been able to actually. I mean, for me, it's been an honor to be part of this creative process where we have evolved throughout time. Listen to our listeners' suggestions too, because at the end of the day, we always understood that it's them who we serve, and we want to give them what they want
Mm-hmm.
to a certain extent, For the other things, you gotta pay for only gens and Science Hub. And I mean, it's fun, man, because it's what I tell you. This after I said it on previous episode too. This is to me like what for some people is like going to church. For me is where I go, where I can actually enjoy what I do on a regular basis. This is my ritual weekly, and I get to speak my mind. And you guys are screwed because you have to listen to me. And I mean, it's just fun because at the end of the day, when I watch something, it gets me thinking. But these conversations that we have is what lets those thoughts to get out and evolve to something else and mature. I'm sure that I'm not the same person that I was when the show started. I was a total idiot before, and now I'm an idiot that knows how to speak. But it's always fun, It's always fun to like you always say, Robert. Science fiction is a thought experiment, and we get to actually exercise that thought experiment in our podcast, which is lots of fun for me. It gets my imagination and just like how easy it was whenever you and I will sit down and watch a movie, to just ramble off and be paused for 30 minutes, sometimes even almost an hour. and we're just talking about those things. And it's not that normal. At least for me, it's not that normal for me to find an individual that is so easy just to pick a conversation and like none of us will get bored about it because we are that much into it. That folk is not common to be found, and that's what I feel honored to be part of this group.
And Ray, I'm really curious, and you know, you probably hear me say this multiple times. I'm really curious
Oh, yeah.
to hear your comments and your perspective as a listener versus as a host of the show.
Destroy us.
Well, it is a unique perspective in that, yeah, I started out as a listener, and I'm just thinking back, trying to remember how I came across you guys. I think I might have seen you on Twitter originally and then looked up your podcast, and I listened to a few of them, and there are still episodes that I haven't listened to in season 1 to this day because I haven't watched the movies or the shows yet, so I'm saving those.
Shame on you.
No, I'm keeping them for prosperity. You know, I'm going to go back in a couple of years and watch the
see,
show
Robert,
and then
you were
listen to
giving
your
us
podcast.
justification. That's an excuse.
Yeah, you'll go back when you guys get season 5.
That's called spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Oh,
You'll go back in season 5.
Spoiler-tastic, yeah. I deliberately did not listen to the ones I haven't watched yet. So if you're a first-time listener to our 100th episode, watch the show, then listen to the podcast.
I wonder what they're doing listening to this one first. Spoilers.
Actually, there was a couple that I went, I'm probably never going to watch that. I'll just listen to the podcast and find out what it was about. And it actually made me go and watch them because I listened to you guys.
Let me ask you, Ray, as our listener and now our favorite co-host, let me ask you this. But maybe the reason that we have you here today is because we could not be more wrong about everything, and you could not sleep at night with all those messed up theories.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'll speak more about that during the question about the top 5 episodes. But yeah, you're not wrong. Put it that way. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird that somebody would listen to a podcast and go, "Hey, I've got to join this podcast so these guys don't fuck everything up." So that's what ended up happening.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
I still remember that tweet. I might not know it verbatim, but it was amazing. I was just like, we just did the Alita episode, and I got this tweet from this guy called Max. Who's this guy called Max? Is he a new fan? This is going to be awesome. And then he says, I just listened, and Max, correct me if I am wrong. I'm not going to say it verbatim, but what I remember from the comment is saying, I listened to your Alita episode, and guys, you have so much things right, but oh, so many things wrong. And
I was like, this dude?
I was like, dude,
we gotta have him here.
I gotta have him on an episode. We gotta have him on an episode. So that's why we did the one on the anime, the OVA.
Yeah.
And we brought him on as a guest. So, and I figure, we do the OVA so we can still talk about the movie, and he can correct us on what we said that was wrong. And basically the rest was history, our chemistry.
Yep.
And this is another thing that I said. It's okay to disagree as long as you're not negative about it and
respectful. I'd say respectful.
There you go. So yeah, I don't know if you can continue. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just figure I just have to say that because that is one of those wonderful experiences that I remember from season 1.
Well, during that time, the influencers of the Elite Army were going out to other shows and things and trying to spread the influence of getting people interested in the sequel. And you guys did that episode, and I'm like, that's really cool. They did it without being prompted. That's great. But yeah, I got to fix some things.
Hey, just for our sake, we always claim we are not a review podcast. Yeah. We always said that. Now we just forgot to say it, but we bring it once in a while.
After Ray came on board, then he realized what is it that we were trying to do. How I would say things a specific way on purpose, and how I let Captain Chaos run with it because I know he's going to stir some crap. Yeah,
It's what we call bullshit bait.
I'd like to think I've cleaned a little bit of that up.
Yeah.
I know it's still there, and
Yeah.
I let some of it pass through to the keeper. But
yeah,
He's just trying to say in a way that I am just way much more smarter now.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we're interrupting right here. So anyway, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I have to admit that the reason that I joined this podcast was because there was a period of time where Geo wasn't available and you guys just stopped dropping casts.
Mhm.
And I missed them. And I'm like, well, if I'm missing them, surely other people are missing them. So I thought, well, bugger it. It was getting close to Christmas and everything was really quiet. And I'm like, hey, Robert, do you want me to come on and temporary co-host until Geo can come back? And Robert's like, oh yeah, we might as well give it a shot. And we did the Darling in the Franks episode and had such a great conversation.
Yes.
And it became the second most downloaded episode. And I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, I might actually suck at this. So
Don't you dare take me down from my throne. I'm the one that sucks at this.
I've seen people competing for the top spot, but never for the bottom spot before. This is new to me.
There's always a first time to be a bottom.
Oh wow. So, moving on. I wanted to involve our ghostly member, Miguel, because he also had a major part to play.
Oh yeah,
on our podcast.
One of the most fun episodes that we had too.
Yeah, we had, and also I wanted to get his thoughts, because from your perspective when we reached out, not only for the episode that we did and how you felt when we did that episode. I think the movie was Ad Astra for season 1, but also when we reached out and let you know that we needed a music for the show, all the way through the multiple creations that we did that eventually culminated in our last and the soundtrack that we have for Science Fiction Remnant right now that is actually being used for even our commercials. So we're really kind of curious to see your perspective, although you didn't have a really involved. You weren't as involved as we have, but you had a very important part to play on not only the season 1 but season 2 when it comes to music.
Can you repeat the question? The rum is getting to me a little bit. Can you repeat it?
That was a loaded question, Robert. That was a loaded question.
No, that was loaded. That was loaded.
Well, yeah, you know me. I don't know. Maybe Gio can translate. But
yeah, don't be fired, man.
Basically, what I'm saying is
Neil Tyson the shit out of it.
Some ear biting.
Well, Neil deGrasse makes complicated and complex science easy to understand to stupid people like me. That's what I like him.
So it's kind of like a 3-part question. Wanted to see your perspective, your point of view on the process that you have taken on the creation of the multiple soundtracks that you created for the show. And I guess part 1 was your perspective on being on a show, because you were in the Ad Astra episode. So basically there are two questions: your creative side when it came to creating the soundtrack for us, and your experience on being on the show?
Okay, so I guess I'll start with the experience being on the show. It was the first time that I was ever on the show. I've heard a
Oh,
couple
he was a
podcasts before
virgin.
because yeah, I was a sci-fi remnant virgin. And I know Gion sent me a few. Like I knew you guys were doing the podcast, and I knew it was sci-fi because it's in the name. Um, and Gion sent me a couple episodes, and I watched. I'm like, okay, so this is what they talk about. It's not like I didn't go into it like I had watched Ad Astra, but I watched it probably like a few months before I went on the podcast. So it's the reason why we kind of went on that because I picked it. But it's funny how we turned out barely talking about the movie and talking more about like the behind like the psychology of the way that what was going on in the movie. So it didn't it wasn't really like a spoiler like everybody was saying. It was more of like a what would you do in that situation psychologically kind of conversation that we had, and it was a great conversation, and I got more of a sense of what you guys were doing because when I heard the other ones, I'm like I don't really understand what they're doing, but when I was in there, then I'm like okay, now I get what they're doing. It's beyond the movie. It's not just the movie,
Yeah.
which is why you guys aren't a review channel. You guys are talking about it in a different light, right?
Hmm.
As far as it comes into writing the music for you guys, the way that I consume sci-fi isn't really through TV shows or comics. I consume it more through music. So artists that write synthwave or EDM music
Nice.
like BT, Tiesto. That's kind of how I consume sci-fi. Or if I find like an album cover that has like weird alien robots, or even some heavy metal music like Fear Factor, um, where they have all this AI industrial stuff going on. That's kind of the way that I go about writing the music. So it's funny when I was writing the music for you guys, I was in the middle of listening to a lot of synthwave music from the '80s, so about like Back to the Future era. And I'm like, damn, it'd be kind of cool to write them a synthwave track, and that's kind of how I went and I molded the music for you guys. And I also try to keep in mind like the older artists. Also, like I always keep up bringing like Tiesto, but kind of like that modern synthwave sound where it was still retro synths, but with a modern upfront. Um, you could say a mix, I guess. I didn't want to make it so retro where it's outdated, but I wanted to modernize it a bit. So that's kind of where that came from.
Awesome. Yeah, and if you guys are not familiar with it, just go ahead and on YouTube you can actually find our ad, and that soundtrack is the one, the final one, because we had multiple soundtracks throughout season 1 and season 2, and that turned out to be our final and the soundtrack that we use for the science fiction remnant. I think you have a link. You actually posted it on YouTube on your channel as well, just the music.
Yeah. If you go on my Koji, I forgot the whole link, but Koji Myiami, it's Myiami Myiami. You go on there and you go to the YouTube link on it, and you'll find the track on there.
And we'll make
It's
sure
called
we'll
The
be sure
Remnant.
to add into our notes. We'll be sure to anyways add into our notes to your link, so we be sure also that our listeners can go and find it there. So please, like like in the show, like
Which
while
is
you're
funny
listening to
actually,
this,
because
go
the
and
other
check it
day
out.
when I reset up the studio again, I was going through my files, and I like to go back and like delete stuff that I'm not using because I'll write like 10 songs every so months, and I'll have to go back and like delete stuff that I don't really find myself interested in. And I went back and I found the waves for the remnant, so I'm like, okay, well now I can mix this. But funny enough, I didn't want to spoil it, but I guess I'll say it online. I kind of already have something for season 3 for you guys.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome.
It's going down.
I'm pretty sure there will be a season 3 too, because I keep looking at the Trello and we add 3 movies a week or three IPs a week and do one show. So it's getting longer.
It's getting longer.
And we ain't running short of them.
Awesome. So, Tim, I hope we answered your question. In the science fiction remnant way, which is deep dives. That's what we do. So we really dive into that question.
Yeah,
So,
we went Mariana Trench deep one.
That is exactly what we do. Listen to the episode on Brolga. Gio, how long was Brolga?
Well, Brogan was a 15 minutes movie from an independent director from Australia.
And I can't remember how long, but it was like, and I can.
It
look
has
up real quick.
become now, what would you call it, like a customary theme from SciFi Remnant to jinx our episodes by saying, well, this might be short because it's 15 minutes, and usually those are the ones that are like 2 hours and a half to 3 hour stops.
Brolga, if you guys haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's on YouTube. It's a short film, sci-fi. It's 15 minutes, and our episode on Brolga with the director, great episode with the director of Brolga, which, by the way, he's creating. He's on a TV show on Netflix. He's creating. He's actually involved in that. But the episode that we did with him was 1 hour and 23 minutes on a 15-minute movie. So that's what we do.
Didn't we
Deep
do the
dives.
same thing to Journey to the Moon?
Yeah.
Oh, that one was like just next year, man. It was a 15 minutes movie with no dialogues.
I love that.
This is me on Science Fiction Remnant.
Nice. Check his taps. Check his taps. Check his taps.
Yeah.
I see hentai in there.
Oh my god.
Oh, now I'm gonna get people to come to the YouTube channel to check it.
So we're gonna go with the next voicemail. This author, we already talked about him. He's actually, we had him on our recently on our show, and he has become a fan of the show, and he makes us feel great that, just whenever we hear that someone has become a fan of our show, and I'm just so excited and glad that you enjoy our content. So he is the voicemail.
I think I know who it is.
Hey guys, this is James W, the writer on Twitter. Just wanted to say happy 100th episode, and definitely looking forward to our episode. And when are you guys going to do Tenet? I need someone to talk about it, because that movie was awesome. But again,
oh man,
episode, I'll be
It's on the
listening.
band list, isn't it?
Tenet. Oh my God, Tenet.
James, thank you for that message. And I'll tell you, now you are to come for that episode to our show. It's blacklisted.
Yes.
And I want to talk about it. I love that movie. I've watched it more than 20 times.
All I can say is I'm gonna have to warn James, because the reason why we have some movies blacklisted is because we have a lot to say. And if we already made a 15-minute movie an hour and a half, imagine how long would Tenet be?
Well, the good thing with Tenet is that we can travel in time, so we can go back and make it shorter. Right, Ray? Like with Tenet, it's fine because it's a time traveling movie. We can actually kind of manipulate time, so it's not a long episode.
No, the thing is that the ending is the beginning, and the beginning and the ending.
Yeah, like the mommy says, the end is the beginning.
So, Miguel, have you seen Tenet?
I haven't seen Tenet, but you guys are talking about it, and I want to watch it.
Oh, bro, you're gonna love it.
You gotta watch it and then reach out to us and let us know what you guys.
Man, I
what
gotta
you
check.
guys-
I gotta check what it is because they had it on HBO Max and it's not there anymore. It's just gone.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll see if one of these days we coordinate, and I'll drive up to you guys, and we'll watch it.
Hell yeah.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
Because I mean, I know you guys have already seen it probably like 20 times, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
like to sit down
I don't
and
mind
watch it
watching
in
it
the
again.
environment.
I don't mind watching
to
it
get through it
again.
inside of 6 hours though, because these guys will keep pausing it to talk about it.
Yes.
That's fine. We'll have enough whiskey to forget what we're talking about.
You'll
We'll be
talk
fast.
so long that you'll forget you're watching a movie. And then you go, what were we doing? Oh, yeah, we were watching.
Like, what are we doing?
And
Playing
some popcorn.
PlayStation.
Make it a weekend so you have at least 2 days.
Yep.
Yeah, if I'll go over after work on a Friday, and I'll if it's all right with you, I'll spend the night and we'll go. I'll go.
Hell yeah, bro. Let me know too. Like,
I'm
I
in
can
Boca
take the
now, so I
train.
think the drive is only probably like what, an hour for me,
Actually,
hour and a half.
from Boca, it's easier for you to come through me, and then we go through Southern Boulevard and cross Florida. Because you have to either go to 75 down
Okay.
or come up here to take Southern Boulevard to cross. Those are the only two ways.
So it's like an hour and a half from me, from here, from your place.
Yeah, hour and
Yeah,
a
it's
half.
nothing. Yeah, that's fine.
Hell yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
we'll do it this weekend
we
if you
can
want.
spoon. We can spoon together. Don't worry.
Oh my God.
and who's gonna pick up Ray?
Oh yeah, because that's easy.
It's all right. I'll throw him on the
One of
private
those-
jet. He'll be fine.
We need one of those tunnels like they have in what was that remake? It's a remake of
Ray, just dig a hole. It's coming straight through the nucleus.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's gonna take a long time.
Use your lava reflector suit so you don't burn in the nucleus, and then you'll make it here. It'll be interesting to see your mole experience.
Yeah, but I'm gonna see if I get if going a little bit like further back to what you guys asked me before. I'm gonna see if I get myself more into watching like movies and TV series that are sci-fi based. Because, like I said, most of my consumption for sci-fi is music or whatever Elon Musk is doing, whatever is going on in the world with like Sophia the robot. That's kind of like my consumption of sci-fi. So
we actually talk a lot about that actually in many episodes too. Like, they are part of the like you were saying earlier, like they are part of those conversations that are surrounding on the topics that go on the movie, not specifically the movie. And I mean, these
Yeah.
countless times that Robert and I have rambled about, like neural link, about the electric cars, solar panel, solar energy, and a
Yeah.
whole technologies
yeah, meta and all that
that are
stuff.
emerging.
Yeah. So that's kind of like where I consume my. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, and then
So,
you know,
yeah,
there's
you're in
always a
your zone
dark
like
side
that.
to the realistic stuff. So
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It was the remake of Total Recall that I'm trying to think of that has the tunnel through the earth.
Oh yeah,
The one with Schwarzenegger is
No.
Schwarzenegger is the first one.
that's the first one.
The one that what is this guy? He did Penguin on the new Batman movie, but there was
Colin
so much
Farrell?
makeup. What it was Farrell something, but it was not Will Ferrell.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. Yeah, it was a very good movie, man. And it was. I love that movie because he left with a touch of like Inception touch. Like, you don't know if it happened, didn't happen.
No, I'm glad you said that because I like the movie too, but the consensus online is the movie sucked. So I like the movie.
Oh, I loved it.
I think the original was better. I like them going to Mars.
The original
The
was
only thing that was best on the original, besides Schwarzenegger, is that there was a 3 tits chick on it.
I was waiting for you to say that. I was just sitting here going,
course,
he's going to
of
say that
course,
any
you know
second
me.
now.
You
Yeah,
know
I
me.
do.
Oh,
I mean, do you imagine how cool you don't know which one to suck and nibble at the same time? When you can actually do that, you can suck and nibble at the same time both.
well, listen, if you want to cut up with me, I only have 2. Okay.
Oh, God. I am going to die. Anyway,
Get him to 10,000 subscribers, and I might grow a third one.
Hey. Careful
That's
what you wish
initiation
for.
right there.
Careful what you wish for. You might just get it.
Talking.
Blame it on the alcohol.
the other
I was just about to say that. Blame it on the alcohol, man.
The other voicemail that we have is from another one of our favorite writers. I remember the WTF face on Geo when I showed him this comic.
Oh yeah.
And the episode was amazing. It's one of the few comic books that I have read that really, really made you think deeply about scientific topics.
He even got Ray all the way in pumped up.
It was a great episode. So let me go ahead and play the voicemail.
Hi, Sci-Fi Remnant guys. It's Rory Collins here. You very kindly let me be on your podcast a month back with my comic book arcs. For your 100th episode, I have a question for you guys. Who or what is your favorite villain from any science fiction in the past 3 years? Congratulations. It's a great podcast. You guys are awesome, and you were very gentle with me when I came on the show. So thank you very much, and congratulations. Okay, bye.
Awesome. So, yeah, the comic book is Arcs, and it was
amazing podcast. Amazing comic. Oh, look at my brain going
well,
crumble already.
the episode was really good.
I loved it, man. I enjoy it.
We really deep dive into that comic. It's an amazing thought experiment.
Masterfully done.
So, Rory, on your question, I had a hard time thinking in the last 3 years, only because most of the villains that came to my mind, I don't technically consider them.
Robert is a
villains.
hero person.
Yeah, I'm a hero person too. So I actually, for my answer, I had to go outside the 3-year mark within sci-fi as villains.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I go from old to new. One of my the first ones that I can think of is Ming the Merciless from Flash Gordon. I think it was just amazingly done and how they did it. The other one that I want to mention would probably be, and I'm going to say it in a way that Captain Chaos loves. It's Papa Palpa.
Papa Palpa. Do it.
Palpatine.
You know, I read the show notes and I'm like, what the fuck is a Papa Palpa? And I only got it when you just said it.
You know, I said it in one of my Discord servers that I chat a lot with my buddies over there, and I say Papa Papa when they were talking about sci-fi and Star Wars, and one of the moderators on the owner was like, "What the heck is that?"
And you know, we have Drew,
and I think Rod thought the same thing because I said it when we had Rod on the show too from his Scary podcast.
You should make a T-shirt.
Yeah,
I make a T-shirt.
We have Drew from Across the Stars to thank for that. Papa Palpa. I just died when I heard that for the first time.
Papa Palpa.
So yeah, and of course I can't not mention Khan from Star Trek.
Yeah, Khan is a good villain.
Which one?
Well, I would have to say
the flamboyant one from the old movie, or the incredible Benedict Cumberbatch.
Ricardo.
Come on, you can go back further than that. You can go back to the original series of Star Trek for Khan.
Yes.
There he goes, getting technical with us.
In 1960, what was it? 66? I forgot now. Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Who reprised the role for the movie, second Star Trek movie.
Yep.
So, I'm sorry I couldn't think of within the last 3 years. I had thought about it. I can't really come up with one that I would truly feel is a villain in my eyes. So those are my choices. You guys have any?
Well, I have one that is 4 years old. I'm a bit closer than you are.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll just share this.
Okay. So
you'll recognize this dude.
I think I know who it is. I think.
Yes.
Yep. Nobody. I knew it.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't go past a nasty piece of work like him.
Yes.
I mean, he's awesome, man. And I mean, one of my favorite actors and directors.
I mean, there's a lot of complaints these days about humanizing villains, but you know, most people who are called villains actually think they're doing the right thing, and this guy, he started out thinking he was doing the right thing, but they lose their way. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and he might have started out that way, but after you are soaked in power for 300 years, you kind of just think you can do anything and it doesn't matter. So
lost his way.
He just messes with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He lost his way. And I mean, just a second on the road to hell is paved with good intentions. The hell is full of good people. You know? No,
kind of reminds me of somebody.
Nova is my favorite villain, obviously, because
what about Grishka?
My favorite movie, but
he's just a puppet. Grishka.
Yeah, Grishka.
Yeah, although Jackie Earle Haley did a wonderful job portraying him, he's a pretty 2D villain.
I'm sorry, I don't think I heard Miguel's question. You had a question? I don't know if you did or not.
No. It reminded me of somebody. I think it's within the last 3 years. I watched a TV series last year, but you guys can go ahead and finish, and then I'll jump in.
Okay. So is that your one, Ray?
That's my one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I had a hard time with this one, and I think Gio has a good point when saying that I am not a villain guy. Mm-hmm. I'm actually a hero guy, so maybe that's the reason why. Gio, do you have? You should have.
You need a good villain to counterpoint a good hero.
I got a good bunch of them, man. A good bunch. I'm a villain guy. I'm not a hero guy. You see, a hero will sacrifice you to save the world, but a villain will burn the world to save you. That's what I like villains.
Okay, that's
and I mean, you know that Joker is my number one, special place in my heart. All of them. Phoenix, Heath Ledgers, Jack Nicholson. Those are my guys, man. But besides the Joker, actually, who was it? Man, I had it on my mind right now. You see, you made me work it out too much. Well, he had Nova that he mentioned too, that I was gonna say. So you took that out of my mouth, right?
Oh well, we'll just have to live with that.
Yeah, we'll have to. And I mean, there's a bunch of like villains. Like I like the commander from Avatar, Pandora Worlds. He's a great villain. I like him. Like he did a great job being a villain. And I mean that was a fantastic movie. He did a great job, like earning the hate from everybody in the movie. And it was unnecessary that he was super powerful or anything like that. Which is some of the qualities I like. Is like when they're just regular humans, but they are just insightful as characters. That makes them also likable. And another one that I really like that nobody had think of it, Atom Smasher from Cyberpunk.
Oh yes.
I love Atom Smasher. That guy. I mean, he's a living legend in freaking Night City. What's there not to like about him?
What about Baron Harkonnen from the Dune?
Oh remake? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Really good. So, Miguel, I think it's your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna need one of you to screenshot this because I don't remember her name. But if you guys ever watched The 100, there's this AI. Have you guys seen The 100?
The 100? It's a TV show?
Yeah.
It's a TV
series on Netflix.
Yeah, I started watching it. Look it up.
Okay, there's an AI in that machine, so I don't know if I'm going to spoil this, but look up. I think it's called the Garden of Light. It's a girl dressed in a red dress. So what she does is that she essentially, and I like things that are kind of like deeper and philosophical. It's not just burning the world, but what she does is that she gets people and she implants these chips. She gives them like this pill, but it's actually a microchip that takes them into the Garden of Eden, which is a world kind of like the Matrix, where there's no pain.
Ooh.
There's no suffering. There's no pain.
Is it Allie?
You're gonna get me watching this, man.
So what she does is that it's almost like a religion where it's a cult where they go into this temple and when the main character goes into it, it's a city just like New York, because where they're living at, they were lived in space. They came down, their spaceship crashed. They didn't have enough resources, so they landed the first 100. That's what the TV series called 100, and they tried to survive on Earth after it pretty much got destroyed. Yeah, that's her. And she's an AI before the whole TV series started. She was actually the one that destroyed the Earth the first time. But she found a way to reconstruct herself and kind of make this matrix world for people on Earth where they can feel no pain. They don't need food. They don't feel pain. She takes away your emotions, so you just become pretty much like a robot. And the thing that I like about her too, as like because if you think about it, she's not really a villain. She's trying to help people because it's the AI. But it's one of those things where when you listen to her talk, it's like a love-hate thing. Like you understand why she's doing it, but why it's wrong.
Wow.
I totally understand that because we spoke about that on our previous episode on Human Be Gone, about the lack of human emotional factor on an AI to go through mere logic to make decision making, and it makes total sense. I mean, it's like, and now you're gonna get me to watch that show because I started, but like I just watched the first episode, so it was like they arrived to Earth because it was not able to, not hospitable, and then they found out there was more people in there, and I stopped it there. Like I didn't continue
It's
watching.
very slow. It's very slow, but once you get to like the sixth episode, you're like,
oh man,
it's really good.
Watching that.
Watch the whole thing. It's really good. It's honestly probably one of the best ones that I've watched. And like I said, I don't watch much, but last year I watched and I was like, damn, it's a little slow to start with, but once it moves, you're like, oh shit,
Nice.
It's just really good. It's a recommendation. I definitely recommend watching it.
I'm gonna take you for that, man. I'm gonna watch it. Maybe you can come to our show for that episode.
Like you don't know if the heroes are the villains are the heroes. It's just it's a clusterfuck.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I started watching I Am Mother. I think it is in Netflix too, and I had to stop it because it was so mind-boggling. Like you don't know who's the bad guy. Like everybody's right, but everybody's wrong. And I was like, no, I had to stop. Like I was super anxious. Like I got like Robert Getz when you put something too strong for him. And that doesn't happen to me.
Yeah, that's kind of like how I felt watching the 100 because every episode something happens. It's never slow,
Very
it's only slow at first, but when it picks up, like then the episodes are like about 2 hours long each. So each episode is pretty much a movie. So when you're watching it, you're like, holy crap! Like I had to stop also because it's like, yo, I go to
probably
bed.
Gonna like. I got a couple of suggestions for you. You're probably gonna like a lot of Westworld. It's like that.
Westworld.
Yeah, it's like that, and they're long episodes, long formats. And I mean, you have big names. You got Anthony Hopkins, Thomas Hopkins on it. You got big names in there that it's like a movie. HBO never goes small in anything.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
Nice, man.
Definitely. Recommendation. So you watch the 100 and I watch Westworld.
Hell yeah. I'm probably gonna start it today and watch it because I've been looking for something. Any other?
I got to the end of it, and I got to the end of it, and it's pretty cool because it's like one thing is always connected to the other in the 100. So it's like it's almost like it's almost like thinking about like our society. Like you have police, then you have military, then you have government, then you have shadow government, then what's below that. So it kind of like all intertwines in that way. So that's why I really really liked it.
So it's full of aha moments.
Yeah, it's full of like, oh shit, that. Like there's like connections that you're like, oh wow, that's crazy. I didn't even think that would make sense with this or why this works this way,
Nice. I like that, man.
So that's really good. I mean, the only other villain I could think of that I really like, but it goes back more than 3 years, would be Sephiroth from Final Fantasy.
Oh yes, that's a favorite from everybody. Even people don't like villains or don't even play Final Fantasy, like Sephiroth. Because he's bad.
Yeah, you just have to like him.
He's gorgeous.
Because he's like the shadow side of Cloud. It's like he's the dark reflection of what Cloud is. Like Cloud always tries to push himself to be the hero, but Sephiroth is always there to like bring him back. Like, no, you ain't shit. So it's always like that. It's almost like that internal mental struggle that he has to like.
It's a duality of
push
archetypes
himself
between them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
that's
many people that don't play Final Fantasy, they actually got to love Sephiroth because of the animated movie that they made back in, I think,
Yeah.
2005 about the games.
Yeah, Children of
That was,
something. Yeah.
and I mean, it was like the main thing about that was the fight with Cloud and Sephiroth.
Yeah. It was epic.
Nice.
It was really good. I got to play Final Fantasy VII when I was in middle school, when I had the PS1, and then when I got Kingdom Hearts, they kind of like reintroduced it back because there wasn't a lot about Cloud going on. And then when that came in, I was like, "Holy shit! Oh, good, they brought this back." And then it was more modernized. You get me?
Yep.
So
I mean,
and
I
that's when
love
you
picking
really
him.
started seeing what the duality is.
Oh yeah, I love picking him on freaking Smash Brothers Ultimate for the Switch. That's one of my favorite characters, but he's difficult to play with.
Yeah, he's hard.
Nice, man.
He's difficult to play.
Nice.
Okay, so we can move on to the next voicemail.
Hello, gentlemen. This is Shanti of the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast and Scarif After Dark. And I just wanted to say congratulations on hitting 100 subscribers. You guys are my fellow Floridians. I'm here in Miami. So kudos to you. I actually do have a question, and I wanted to know, like, being, in Florida, and I'm assuming specifically Miami, considering your phone number starts with 305, do you find there to be, like, a large nerd presence down here? Because I always kind of felt like there really wasn't, and I really didn't start meeting my fellow nerds until I started branching out on Twitter. Hopefully that'll spark a really good discussion. Again, congratulations, guys. Bye.
Shanti, thank you so much for your voicemail. I think, let me start first. I am originally from Miami. I moved out a while, but I think this might apply for all the locations that we're in. And we can take turns and speak to the locations that each of us are in. I'm not sure if I can consider myself lucky because the nerd presence, I kind of found it easy, right? So you have conversations at work, you have conversations with friends, and typically people would like to talk about the stuff they love. So through those conversations, you found people that are into other nerdy, geeky stuff as you are. I was lucky enough to find multiple things of the things that I love, and was able to go into meetups to go to a place and meet up with other people and have this interaction. They kind of felt like, but just a little like a Comic-Con, but not necessarily, because you just meet up together. When I was in Miami, I was attending the Star Trek conventions. I think it was a Miami Convention Center, if I'm not mistaken. I used to attend those regularly. So I don't know if I find myself lucky because I was able to find my nerd and geeky crew, and was able to interact. Also, another thing that I was able to use in the past, and I don't know if you guys know about this, but there's a site called Meetup. You could actually open up a free account and look at your city, and there you're going to find, especially if you have big cities like Miami or Atlanta, places, big places like that, you're going to find a lot of scheduled programs around the nerdy and the geeky stuff around your city, where you can actually attend and be outside those the Comic Cons that we normally see. But yeah, I think I can consider myself lucky that I was able to find my crew easily, and I'm able to interact. Granted, Twitter allows you to take that step further, and find that crew outside your local city, so you can share across cities, across state, across country. But yeah, that's my personal experience on it. Not sure who wants to go next.
You want to go, Miguel? I mean, for me, you Robert was like one of the first people like I can get to be geeky with. I didn't really find that much more in Florida. I've never gone to a Comic Con or anything like that, which will be a great avenue for me to actually connect with people on the same kind of interests. So I mean, you're kind of you guys are here in my group are the only like geeky friends. And Miguel, like we like a lot of the same psychological stuff and like self actualization, self help things, and he likes like the kind of same material that I like when it comes to movies that they can get to be brain and things like that. But you two guys are like here in Florida, like my crew for that.
Okay.
I think
I'm
that
a hermit.
it just depends how you define like nerds, because I know a lot of people that are nerds, but in the sense of like trading card games, comic books, cosplay, which kind
That's
of
it.
falls into that category of convention center. You know, like that's pretty much what you see. When it comes to things like Star Wars, Star Trek, things that are more like TV based and stuff like that, I think further north is better. I mean, like further north, as in like Orlando, has huge conventions, and where you'll meet people that are into that world, and they'll have Star Wars meetups. But equally, they also have meetups for things that are very underground, like Spawn. My guitar player, he's a big Spawn fan. So it's, even though it's underground, it's still big, but in a small community. So you need to kind of find those communities of people that like those things, the specific thing that you like, and then you'll branch to those other things. When I moved over here from Miami, but I realized that here now in Boca, it's been 45 minutes, hour away from Miami. It's way bigger over here than it is Miami. It's more of a place for like business, partying. You know, people have the money for it. Like, it's not saying because getting into that kind of stuff is still, yeah, exactly right. Hoeing, yeah. But Miami is a big city, it is, but I think that the focus in Miami is different. It's more for like an older demographic of people that like, you know, business,
Nightlife,
party, that kind of stuff.
trendy.
It doesn't really cater to like younger, you know. Yeah, it's trendy. It's more trendy. But even like places like Pembroke, if you go to like cool stuff, you'll find those kind of like people that like Star Trek and Star Wars. It's just about expanding out, finding the stores where these people are. Tate's in Miami is pretty good too. It's in Doral. But it's more of a trading card game kind of community.
Tate's, you said?
Yeah.
I actually went in Tate's comic books in University Drive. But like, funny enough, like I never been into like a gaming place like where you go and play trading cards, and like that's the funny thing. Robert and I fall into that same category because we like the TV stuff. I did a lot of trading cards. Like I played Pokemon in my years, Yu-Gi-Oh. Even though I don't like the anime of Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yeah.
I'm freaking freak playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I had 3 decks, and that's what I did in my years. Video games, comics. Like in Tate's is where I get some of the most badass comics that I have, including Spawn, which I'm gonna give you now. It's gonna be a gift for you, man.
Yeah.
I have like 4 or 5
Thank you.
issues of Spawn that are pretty badass.
I'm kind of curious on what
Thank you,
Miguel
man. Thank you.
said, because when I was in Miami, I was able to find my geekdom real fast. So it makes me wonder.
It could be the
am I
times too,
lucky-
Robert.
Am I lucky or times changed? Because when I
It
was
could
in
be. I
Miami,
mean, it could just be my personal experience. Because I'm not really too big into it, as in like the TV sense. Like, yeah, I like Star Wars. I'll watch a little bit of Star Trek and stuff like that. My favorite is actually Stargate SG-1. But you don't
Oh,
find
Robert
a
loves
lot
it.
of, at least I didn't. I didn't really open up to that community. So I'm not saying that it's not available. It's just I see it more here, just walking around. My friends up here are more into it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is kind of very similar to Miami, where it's more party city, you know. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me personally, because I don't go out of my way to find them. I'm pretty sure if you did go out of your way to find them, you could find those communities, depending on the kind of nerds that you're looking for. You know, if it's trading card games, then you could find those everywhere. But when it comes more like designated, like niche, like I like Star Wars, you know, those kind of things, and you might have to dig a little bit deeper. You know. You can always find the crazy guy with a collection in his garage.
With millions of dollars in card worth. First edition Chrome.
Yeah, because even the people that I know that have like big collections, it's all comic books. I don't really know too many people who are heavily into Star Wars. I have a friend of mine that's from Jacksonville that loves Avengers. That's his way of being a nerd. You know, he loves anything Avengers. He's got the shields to Thor's hammers to the costumes to those little bobblehead toys. He's got everything. You know, but it just depends what you're looking for.
This is what I got, man.
Is that
from Lord of the Rings?
That's actually just a clay
Excalibur
that somebody gave me. Yeah, it could be. I said that it's made of Beskar, so I can find any lightsaber with it. There goes Ray to get his too. Sword fight! Sword fight!
There you go.
Sword fight!
Sword
fight!
That's a
This is a sci-fi blade, dude.
I'll fight you all with my rum.
I told you when you drink rum, you're gonna fire to the other thing.
Oh wait, I do have a weapon. It's an axe. Let me show it to you guys. This is my axe.
You gotta swing the shit out of us. Are you gonna beat us into a solo?
Nice.
Is that Nerf gun?
Yep.
Nice. You never play with a Nerf gun? My childhood is not completed.
Hey, I have a laser tag in here, so you know. Just
get ready, Robert.
Let's do it.
Make it run.
Let's do it.
Yep, I'm ready.
do it.
And it has a shotgun too.
You know, funny enough, I went to Five Below the other day. I think it was like a couple weeks ago, and I bought me and my siblings these Nerf shooters, like single shooters.
Oh my god,
And
that's fun, man.
there's this one that shoots like these balls that you just like pump and shoot. We were just running all over the house like idiots. My mom was looking at me like, "Hey, what the hell? You're like 13 or something." I'm like, "I don't care. I'll run around with them." You know?
You gotta tell them, Mom, you never heard of the inner child?
Dude, we never grow up.
My
man.
son hates this one. They hurt so much. The solid ones.
Ouch. So, Ray, same question for you in Australia. I mean, really, really curious.
Yeah, one of these folks is not like the other. Florida, not Florida.
But I mean, just for the record, I know that people in Australia are like Florida man and woman.
Really?
Yeah, you got worse things than alligators over there, I'm sure.
Oh, we do.
You got flying foxes.
Giant wolf spiders.
Yep.
I
You got
got something
bullfrogs.
for you, actually.
You got bullfrogs. You got mosquitoes like 5 inches long.
I got something.
You know, your perception of 5 inches is really different. You know?
Hey, I know you were gonna say that, man, but it's okay. I'm like 50 inches long.
Hey, Ray, Ray, how many refrigerators long is that?
What the fuck is that?
About 3.
What the hell is that, bro?
That's a big huntsman spider.
Oh my god, huntsman spider. That shit is like stuff made out of nightmares. Nope.
My
Get it with
son
fire.
hates those things.
Do
That's
you,
why
I don't
I have
blame him.
this sword to fight off the spiders.
you see the engraving? Nope.
Yeah, nope.
Have you ever seen? Because now I'm curious because you're in Australia. Have you ever seen? Because this blows up on the internet over here. I'm not sure if it's true because I don't believe anything on the internet. But they're giant crabs. That they're like. Have you seen that image? It's like the size of a trash can.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
They're real, but they're not in Australia. They're I think they're in like Norway or somewhere. They're spiders that live under the ice, and they cut a hole out of the ice and they fish out the giant crabs. It's pretty scary shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I saw that shit. And see, everything here is Australia. So if we see something weird like that, we're like, that's probably Australia.
Yep.
Like,
no, not that one.
Oh, thank God.
What's the name of that bird? The most dangerous bird in the world? It's in Australia.
Oh, emus.
It's the fastest and the most dangerous. Like one kick could actually rip your heart out of the chest. No freaking exaggeration. It is the feistiest animal.
the Australian Army back in the 20s went to war against the emus and lost.
Bingo. Holy shit. Let's get the goose to fight for us.
Seriously, Jake, look it up on YouTube. There's multiple videos about it.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna get like ostrich army.
Ostrich army.
They look like an ostrich.
They're like the discount emus, ostriches.
So Ray,
you can get those at you can get those at Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree. To answer Ashanti's question from the perspective of Australia, how do you feel? Is
About
your
nerdy community.
your nerdy community?
Well, yeah, it's a little bit tricky. I mean, once you finish university and head off into the real world, it's kind of hard to link up with people who are into the same things that you're into if it's not like sports. I mean, sports is easy, but anything other than that's a little bit tricky. But yeah, I mean, the internet helps a lot. I've been involved in role-playing conventions. I haven't been to there are local comic cons and things like that, but I haven't actually got off to them. And the last few years have been a little bit tricky thanks to that nasty little virus that's been kicking around. But I mean, Twitter has been a big help in finding people, and Facebook as well, finding people that are into the things that you're into. And of course, there's that whole nervousness about going from online communities to offline communities. But excuse me, my cybernetics.
Sugar. Ray, honey.
Yes, my
diabetes is coming up. That's your diabetes alarm?
Yep.
That's how excited we get you, man. I know I'm too sweet for you.
I mean, the bigger cities have the bigger populations of people into various fandoms. So I'm living north of Sydney now. I'm not in Sydney anymore. So
what's it called over there?
People,
Sydney North.
Sydney North. No, I'm on the Central Coast now. But yeah, I mean, local gaming shops and stuff like that are places where you'd sort of find people like that. But you know, older geeks are harder to find as well. Not a lot of people in their 50s will admit to being into geeky stuff. So that's why I have to hang with my Florida bros here.
Nice. For all of you who are not watching us on YouTube, you're missing
I want those glasses.
Cool, amazing glasses that Miguel has. So
awesome! I love these things.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get some of those, man.
So I'm gonna go.
I have a website. Go get it.
Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and play the next voicemail, and I think it has a really good question for Miguel in it. But yeah, we can all jump in. Here it goes.
Hi guys, the Lion Jukebox here. Thank you for the opportunity. I was thinking about the relationship between music and sci-fi. And I think when both elements are well combined, they create vanguardist scenarios that could come up with new eras of music and new eras of sci-fi. And I think The Matrix is one of those examples when back in 2000, music and sci-fi well combined created a scenario that led to more music and more movies, like even greater and even better. So yeah, I was thinking about that, just adding my 2 cents, and maybe if you'd like to discuss, I'm fairly open. So thank you very much, guys, and yeah, take care. Gracias.
So that was Andre from the Latin Jukebox. Great engagement on YouTube. Thank you very much for that. You know what? I do agree with him, and I can go even further back. In our episode on 2001 Space Odyssey, we discussed this as well. The music plays an important part in storytelling, but I think mostly important part in sci-fi, because sci-fi usually is trying to illustrate concepts that are not real. So you need to have and that's why we have so many like special effects to try to illustrate this concept. Um, but music actually helps illustrates those concepts in a more concise way. But yeah, Matrix was a perfect example how cinema changed, especially on a sci-fi action type. But we see stuff like 2001 that actually changed sci-fi um, in cinema, and another example that actually even changed. So you have, in my opinion, and you guys let me know what you guys think. But in my opinion, 2001 uh, there was an example of what I like to call the old sci-fi, and how it just changed cinema. And then that's 2001 for all of you who are not familiar. This was in 1968,
Space
and
Odyssey.
then we fast forward to Star Wars, 1977,
Mm-hmm.
and we had another example of how music plays an important part in storytelling in a way that it changes, um, not necessarily cinema, but storytelling going forward. What is your guys' thought on that?
I am surprised. I'm just gonna say in short that you missed like something. I'm gonna take us to the cradle of that. Le Voyage dans la Lune. It's a silent movie, but music was paramount because there were no dialogues on it.
It
So
is
since
very
the birth of filmmaking, music has been instrumental in giving the experience to the audience and uh, creating that feeling of rapture when you're watching something that drags you into the story and brings you inside of it.
it's really cool that you mentioned that, and again, I'm surprised
Charlie
myself of
Chaplin.
why. But the thing is, it's for all of you out there who have not heard our episode, you should go ahead and download it. Um, it's the very first sci-fi movie ever filmed, and it was silent film. So that movie needed a way to, although it did a really good job in expressing without the um the actors saying out or mention saying out their lines. um Music was instrumental into that, into that movie, because it actually helps the story move along. But yeah, you have a really good point in that one over there. That one would be a perfect example of again, that is the very first movie. So obviously anything only gets better from there.
I think that the way that I see it, because I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum, I see sci-fi influencing music. Music is kind of like a texture to things. So depending on the intervals played, the way that it's played, if it's slow or fast, it's going to portray a story regardless of the imagery.
Mhm.
But obviously, with the imagery, it ties that together, right? Like if you watch horror movies, they have a very distinct sound. When it's quiet, it's just very quiet, and you hear these eerie noises. Or when something hectic happens, something explodes or something, there's a certain sound that you get besides the explosion that adds a texture to what you're seeing visually on the screen, right? So it kind of enhances the senses to where it's more than just seeing, now you're listening also. I see it the other way. um, I see sci-fi influencing more music, especially with the music coming out now. Things like bands like The Midnight or Time Cop 1983, where they're going back into like those 80s, 90s synth tracks, and they're trying to portray the story in a way where it's just with soundtrack. There's an album that BT release. It's called Metaversal. If you listen to it, there's no, obviously it's an album. There's no visual to it, but just by looking at the album cover alone and listening, and you can just tell what it is by looking at the album cover. And if you listen to the tracks, 'cause I just put on headphones and I just sat and listened to it, it's a story on its own without needing the visuals. It's almost like the difference between reading a book and watching the movie, right? When you read the book, your imagination is open to whatever interpretation you want. But when you watch the movie, it's there for you, right? So obviously, the experience might be deeper watching the movie. You have the visual and the audio visual to pick everything up. But when you read the book, you can kind of assort your own idea behind it. But that's kind of the way that I see it. But I would recommend that, yeah, if you guys ever take the time, listen to that album from BT. It's called Metaversal, and just put on headphones and just lay down, and it'll just come to you. It's really fascinating the way that it works. But that's how I see it. I see the opposite.
I'm gonna check it out because I like that. I like ambiental music. I like binaural beats, all that stuff. Theta waves, delta waves.
It's a mix of it. He's originally a house artist, so that's his main influence.
Nice.
But he mixed that into EDM, synth wave, binaural beat. So there's a little bit of everything. Very minimal words, but it's an experience when you're listening to it. It's like I said. It's like reading a book. You can make your own idea to it.
Exactly. Now, I mean, don't go far. That's what I do when I'm gonna read comics or manga. I go to YouTube and I open one of those 2 hour long tracks with EDM, synth waves. Depending on what I'm reading, I get in the movie. If I'm reading something like feisty and shit, I go to synth wave or cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is kind of like soundtracks, Or if I want to study or something, I go lo-fi. So like that's my thing. Like that's what I love doing.
I love lo-fi playlists.
Oh man, they're awesome. They're good for anything you want to do. They're good for studying, for reading, for relaxing and sleeping. If you want to actually get in your zone, concentrating for drawing too, I use it. I love it.
Yeah. But I think that you definitely do need the audio to portray more of what the visual is telling you. Because sometimes, if you think about a movie, when's the last time you really watched a movie without a soundtrack?
Yeah.
That never happened.
Now, remove the soundtrack from that. I'm pretty sure somebody on YouTube has probably done that, where they've removed the soundtracks from a movie, and then just watching it's like, it's kind of like bland. You need that little more of a kick.
Yeah.
So that's where you have the soundtrack coming in and kind of enhancing it, like, oh, this is a diminished chord. Something eerie is going to happen. There's this
ominous
symphony is
soundtrack
playing, so it's building into something. Yeah.
I see where they actually changed the soundtrack and it changed the entire mood of the scene.
Yeah, I mean the right word. I don't know if Miguel was trying to look for that word, but when he was explaining it, it came to me is they are nothing without one another. They're complementary. They complement each other, so they're necessary one for the other. I mean, music differently than movies can be one thing on its own, but a movie without soundtrack, it's not a movie. I mean, you got music.
I'm gonna give you a good example. I'm gonna give you a good example. When I watched this a few years ago, there's this YouTube. It's like a fake commercial for medication, right? But what they did is that they switched the music on it, and at first it was happy, like your typical, medical commercial. We have happy music, people smiling. But then they changed the music to something that's very eerie and dark, and it's creepy to like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking of it. Like something bad is gonna happen when you're like these people are smiling, but like even like it was the same film. They didn't change anything. All they did was change the music, but just the way that they were smiling, they were happy. You're like, oh, one of these people's a serial killer. Like it changes that drastic.
Change the whole message.
Yeah, it's like Gian says. Yeah, exactly. They need each other to complement and enhance the experience of what you're watching. You can't have one without the other.
Music primes the emotions. Music is a very emotional medium. Yeah. And when you adjust the music, you adjust the emotion that you're providing with the visual. And that's why you can have exactly the same video, but you change the music and suddenly those smiles become eerie and like there's something dodgy going on here because you change the emotion by changing the music.
Mm-hmm.
For me, music's always been really important in cinema. Especially like I would sit there and I'd hear 2 or 3 beats of a particular song, like do 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 do. It's Star Trek original series. You know, it immediately ties to a property.
What kind of mind control are there?
It is a kind of mind control. I had a orchestral CD back in the 80s of top 10 greatest sci-fi music scores, and you know, like you hear that do 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 do. What is it? Do any of you know?
I wouldn't know.
No.
Star Trek.
Wrath of Khan. The
Oh,
beginning.
Yes.
Yes.
I almost say Galactica.
When the three Klingon D9 cruisers are heading towards the anomaly.
I thought of Star Trek because of the Star Trek is very, very known for those kind of ominous little tracks that bring like what's to come. You know, it prepares you. It puts you at the edge of the seat.
Exactly.
But I mean, that's on my control. I actually want to try something with you, Ray.
But I hear 3 or 4 beats of any of those tunes, and I immediately know where it's from, and I immediately see what's happening in my head.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Ray, we're in a podcast now. This is gonna be so fun, so hot. Perfect chemistry between the 4 of us. This is like Minaj to us +1. Oh yeah, baby.
Now it's the
This is gonna be the best episode ever. This is like the century episode.
Dope his beer, will you? Oh my god! Calm down, boy. Calm down.
But I got you in the mood now. You guys are all blushed up.
Oh god!
It's funny also that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I will state another one that will immediately bring back memories if you know it. Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds.
Oh, not me.
No.
The funny thing is that I watched War of the Worlds first, the Tom Cruise version in the movies, and then I knew that there wasn't a movie.
This is not watching. This is an audio version of War of the Worlds. There's no video to it. There's actually a flip book that's inside the album cover, but there's no actual video. This is just an audio version of War of the Worlds. You will know the music the moment you heard it.
Probably not me, because you're talking about the classic one. Nope. I'm so ignorant of that that's the thing. Like, I was not into all movies. Robert actually was the one that kind of rewired my brain to not let special effects to like distract me from it. But like, Robert probably should know it.
You could say it.
Sure.
Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange? Yeah, he put me like, oh movies, no special effects.
Oh god.
Yep.
So
but it's almost like what Gian said, like music kind of in a way is a mind control, especially if you look at the stuff that's going on with today's main media.
Yeah.
You know, especially things that happened over the last few months with, like, what's his name? Sam Carter, the singer. Is that his name?
Yeah.
The one that sings Unholy. You know, the whole Grammy performance and Rihanna at the football game.
Sam Adams.
It's just like,
Sam Adams, I think it is.
Sam Adams is Samuel Adams.
Samuel Adams.
You know, but you can, when you look at it, it's like, wow, like you know, before it was very like, I guess this is a whole different conspiratorial kind of conversation, but you know, before it was very hidden, where now it's very like upfront and in your face, you know, stuff that's going on in Hollywood. So in that sense, you can kind of tell, like, yeah, there is something about music itself that is a way to control the mind. I mean, if you could control people's emotions, you can control the mind.
Yeah, I mean, don't go further. I mean, there's a lot of like symbolism that is disavowed by society, but people like the music, so people look over these details because I like the music, you know. And
yeah, like for example, like when the Weeknd's album came out. Yeah, like when the Weeknd's album came out, the last one, the Dawn FM, right? And I'm like, damn, I really like the Weeknd. I like his, you know, it's very retro pop, so it's kind of like in my realm of what I like. And when I was listening to the song Sacrifice, And I'm like, oh, I don't want to sacrifice this. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of catchy, cool. When I watched the video, I was like, oh shit, this is a whole
Oh,
different interpretation of what I
yep.
was thinking. You know,
He changed the whole
it's like
song. He changed the whole song.
demons and yeah, it's like being in the underworld, and it's just like a whole different thing. You're like, wow, it's kind of crazy how like what you hear is one thing, but the meaning behind it is something else. You know, it's just I don't
Yep.
know. That's a different conversation.
And I mean, don't go far, Ray. Now that you mention it, you know how I got into soundtracks? Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yoko Kanno, their music director, that's what got me into OSTs. After that, I went crazy when I watched Samurai Champloo, and I'll go crazy with Nujabes. And that's how I actually got into lo-fi. It was because of Nujabes, that he's the guy that he died, rest in peace. But great soundtracks. And I think that Samurai Champloo is one of those creations that they are like, they staying alone on their own kind. Like there's nothing that ever gonna come up like that. It was like a shooting star, you know? You're never gonna see an anime that was so unique yet so full of culture into it. But that's how I got into soundtracks. After that, then I started looking more for soundtracks. I mean, if you guys have seen Neon Genesis Evangelion, for example, that's orchestral music, just like Star Wars, and it's amazing. It's gorgeous. It's full of emotion, of all rate of emotions.
Yeah,
you know.
I can't let this topic go past without mentioning Junkie XL's soundtrack for Alita Battle Angel. That's another amazing soundtrack.
Yeah,
it just fits so well. In fact, there's an interesting story about that. When Robert Rodriguez was filming Alita Battle Angel, the budget he had, $200 million, was the most money he'd ever had for a movie. He would make like 6 movies with that amount of money. and what he would do to save money, because he is the director that gets the most out of the money, because he's only ever had really, really small budgets for his movies. But what he would normally do is get together with his band and do the soundtrack for the movie with his band to save money. And he was going to do that, and they turned around and said, no, you've got like all this money for the soundtrack. He's like, what? I've got money for a soundtrack? He was like stunned. And in fact, the bar fight, the music during the bar fight is his band. He actually recorded that. But he was stunned that he actually had money for a soundtrack. And Junkie XL's soundtrack for Alita Battle Angel is just fantastic. I love listening to that. But different soundtracks bring completely different emotions based on like the way the movie's presented. Now I know that a lot of Alien fans don't like Alien Resurrection. I didn't mind it. There was a few things about it a bit but the soundtrack of that movie, whenever I'm sitting down to write sci-fi horror, I listen to that soundtrack. It is just spot on for sci-fi horror.
I like Mick Gordon. I like Mick Gordon.
I was just about to mention Mick Gordon.
Oh my god, bro!
I love Mick Gordon.
Yep.
Mick Gordon in the Dune soundtrack. It's amazing.
Oh yes, BFG, man, big fucking gun. But just to close it, just remember, guys.
I thought it was Big Friendly Giant.
We're gonna do great in this episode, guys. It's going just fantastic. It's so smooth.
Oh my God, Becky.
Look at her.
So, should we go to the next voicemail?
Yeah.
We should.
This next voicemail comes from one of the big supporters that we have. So here it goes.
Hello, everyone from the Science Fiction Remnant podcast. It is me, the Vern, here from Cinema Recall, and I just wanted to leave a message here for you fine space cadets, Robert, Giancarlo, and Ray of the Science Fiction Remnant podcast. You cats are pretty awesome, and I hope this is the message board to wish you a very, very happy 100 episodes or 200 episodes. You guys post all the time. You guys could be in your 1000th episode, and I'm just late to the game here. But whatever milestone, 100, 200, 700, 2,000, 40,000, 8,000. Just keep those episodes coming. Keep the science fiction rolling. And I'm loving all the things that you do. You guys have just been amazing supporters and just amazing just cast all around. I can't wait to release the full episode that we did on our show about Essence. So yeah, so thank you so much. You guys are just wonderful people, and I love this little voicemail. I will be leaving voicemail messages later on, but just want to say congratulations on all your success and all that. And that's it. I love you all dearly. Goodbye. Cheers. Bye.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Existence
Vern.
was a real Matrix kind of movie.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
It
It wasn't a
was
blacklist. It
Inception.
wasn't a blacklist, just like Matrix.
Yeah,
And
right
Inception.
now we recorded that episode of Cinema Recall. It's on Patreon right now. So if you want to listen to it, you want to go into Cinema Recall and join up Patreon. But it's going to be released on the regular fee. Although he has kind of like a clip. I don't know if you guys have heard it. It was really,
Oh yeah.
really amazing.
I'll share
We
it on
had
my page.
so much fun recording that episode. And it's, again, like we said at the beginning of this episode, it's one of those movies that we have on our blacklist because we have a lot to say. We really have a lot to say.
Well, Vern, just to close that off, we hope that we are in around 800, 900. By then, we'll be on some Joe Rogan shit already. We're going to put him out of business if we are that far. And I hope that we are actually.
Awesome. Thank you, Bernd. We appreciate you. And,
I love listening to him.
I'm also a fan. So
Me too.
So here goes the last voicemail for this episode.
Hey guys, it's Drew from Across the Stars podcast. Congratulations on 100 episodes. That is absolutely awesome. Thanks for helping us out and having us on your show and everything you guys do for the sci-fi world. Rock on, and once again, congratulations.
That's awesome. Drew, thank you so much. We had so much fun on your show. It's amazing. So yeah, we really appreciate it. For all of you who are not familiar, Across the Stars is a new podcast. It's about Star Wars, and they're trying to watch it in order. So it's really interesting what they're doing. We came up on their show for 2 episodes on Clone Wars. So yeah, we are a fan. It's a new podcast, and you guys are in my opinion, you guys are doing the right thing because I'm a fan from the first few episodes that I listened to. So thank you so much.
And that's a good podcast to get into, man. Because there's so
Mhm.
many
Oh, yeah.
things in the Star Wars universe. It's a whole world on its own.
Mhm.
Between the movies, well, I don't know if there's comics, but between the movies, the video
Oh, there
games,
are.
and all the little sub things that come out, there's comics of it.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Oh yeah.
For sure.
it's
Ray,
There's been
Ray
Star
had
Wars comics since
actually
the 80s.
Ray had tapes of audio dramas about it.
LPs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's almost like anybody who does like Star Trek. There's so many, like even the languages, everything. The planets have their own, terrain, and there's a whole political thing going on behind this. There's so much to Star Wars and things like that. The Star Wars and Star Trek.
Yeah.
You can sit there for hours and talk about it.
I
Oh,
heard
yeah,
Captain
absolutely.
Chaos wants to move to Mustafar.
And I mean, if you enjoy it, man, do you like watching Animatrix? Or you have not watched it?
And a Matrix? No, I don't know.
Oh, you gotta watch that. That's like a series of shorts with different creators, or different directors and animators about Matrix, like side stories. Now they did the same thing for Halo. It's called Halo Legends, and they did it now for Star Wars too, and it's called Star Wars Visions, and that one is in Disney Plus, Star Wars Visions, and Halo Legends. You can find that actually in Tubi TV for free too. And it's fun to watch too. I mean, you have even the Dragon Ball animators in like a small short video about story of a Spartan, and it's just fun to watch because you get to see like a little bit of like a little peek that many different realities within that unique universe in every single story told.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, it's amazing,
Okay,
man.
I get what you mean. I've seen that for like Spawn and a few other like Marvel stuff. Yeah, like an alternate kind of universe. I love it when they do spin-offs like that. You know,
Oh yeah,
it gives
I
you like a
didn't know
different,
that Spawn
you
had
know.
those because I only watched the old cartoon for Spawn, so I want to check that out.
Yeah,
Actually, I think that the
yeah.
Animatrix one you can find on HBO.
My guitar player, he's the huge Spawn fan. Like he's got a collection of like action figures. He
Nice,
actually prints shirts for Spawn that are like alternate universe Spawns. But the cool thing
nice.
about Spawn is that this is kind of getting a little bit off topic, but Spawn is the only running comic that's still owned by the original owner. It's never been sold off to like DC, Capcom, Marvel. It's always been just Spawn. But the way that the owner works it is that he lets other people create these alternate universes and they write it into a comic. So till
Oh,
this
that's amazing,
day,
man.
they're still printing Spawn comics. So
Nice.
it's kind of like that, where it's like you have these alternate universes, you know?
Keeps it alive. I like that.
Yeah, it keeps it alive. Yeah.
Those Star Wars ones are actually done by major anime houses in Japan. Disney went out to the Japanese anime community and hired them to do these shorts.
They're
And,
amazing, man.
They're all in their own particular styles. So
Oh yeah,
you'll see styles of Star Wars you've never seen before if you watch those.
I love that. I love the first one, the one with the like the samurai rogue Jedi that he has like a katana red lightsaber. Oh man, that episode is badass. I mean, all of them, all of them. I cannot recommend it enough, man. I've watched it more than 5 times.
There's also a similar thing
Now,
on
now,
Netflix.
here's a question to you guys. Do you think it's because some people view that as like a good or a bad thing? Like I know a lot of like the hardcore Star Wars guys, they kind of don't like those newer Disney animated worlds. What is your guys' take on that?
It's more
Well,
sci-fi. It's good.
Sci-fi is good, and
Some people have complained about Andor, I think, but it's because most people are too much into like the packed action scenes, and Andor is more backstory that backs up on the universe and and everything within it. Characters that are just equally important to the main plot. But other
yeah.
than that, I haven't heard complaints. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mandalorian has been great successes. What do you think, guys?
Well, I think and there's a lot of arguments on this, especially if you count the last Star Wars movies. And everybody has their own valid responses as to why they don't like it specifically. Some of the comments that I hear as to why some people don't like Andor is because there's no lightsabers in it. To me, I think is uh, and again, I say this in multiple of my previous episodes, and you might not agree with my comments, but that's just
As usual.
how I feel. The To me, I am a fan of sci-fi, right? And I follow multiple IPs. So I have hunger. I have an actual hunger for the IPs that I follow. So I am going to take whatever I get from the IP that I love, because to me, it's just an extension of the bigger story. To me, like an example that I can give you, I don't like sad endings. I don't like when at the end of the movie everybody dies. So everybody that has followed this podcast knows this about me. But I love Rogue One, and everybody died at the end. So then you wonder, okay, are you contradicting yourself? And the answer that I give in my rationality is no, because when I remember watching Star Wars, I remember how they were describing how they got the plans for the Death Star. And this is something that I wanted to see badly, and we never got it until recently we got Rogue One. And I was excited because I finally saw what to me was in the past, what happened, and how they got the plans for the Death Star. So if you look at that, whenever I follow an IP and whatever is produced for that IP, to me, I gobble it up because it's part of the whole huge story that is that particular IP. That's just how I look at things. Some people might disagree, but that's just how I see it. Did I take the words out of everybody's mouth?
I just
Yeah, you pretty much got it because I know a lot of people that after let's just say Star Wars had an Anakin series, right? Let's say the first 5 movies were the buildup of how Anakin became Darth Vader, right? Okay, that storyline is done. Then when something different comes along, it's almost like oh, this isn't the same thing. Well, you can't go back, so it's just accepted as what it is, But yeah, I agree with you, Rob. Yeah, that's kind of the way that I see it too. It's like, well, whatever it is, it's either in transitioning to a different season in that series, or it's just building up on what was already there. It's the informal stuff we didn't get in the first few that we're now getting into the deeper details.
Yeah. Or a different perspective of something that we have.
Yeah, or a different perspective. Yeah.
Awesome.
Like I would personally like to watch a Star Wars movie, and I'm pretty sure there's already one out there because there's so many Star Wars things. I would like to see one with like the life of a stormtrooper.
Yes. Yes.
There's a short one called Troops that you can look up on YouTube.
Oh yeah, see, I knew it had to be out there. I knew it.
You might enjoy watching Bad Batch probably. That is solely about stormtroopers stories.
No, clones. He's talking about troopers.
The clones, yeah, the clones.
The clones, yeah. I love the clones, and I think the clones are 100% better than any trooper. Ray, the one that you mentioned, that's not canon, is it? Like when I mean canon, I mean that's
no. Troops isn't canon. Troops is a parody.
It's a parody, but it's so cool. It's cool.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? It's actually quite old. It's been around for like a decade or so.
It's kind of like me and Mara Jade. I don't know if I showed Gio this. It's like from the 80s. Someone made a Mara Jade centered show.
I actually have a friend from a mutual server that she actually likes Mara Jade. She even asked me if I could actually craft for her like a costume of Mara Jade. That's how much she likes it.
I am not alone in saying that a lot of people in Star Wars are hunger for a Mara Jade show or more Mara Jade content.
And it might come. It might come. I mean, that's the thing that I like about Star Wars too. It never has died out throughout the years.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing. Instead of creating a TV show or a movie, creating a universe too. There's always that space for you to bring more stuff into.
Yeah,
Troops was 1997, so it's
a
while ago.
Oh, there's another parody that I just remembered that I showed Gio. You remember? Do you remember Pink 5?
Pink 5?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's a Star Wars parody about this girl. She's like a valley girl that joined the rebellion, and she had no clue what's going on, and she's inside one of those X-wings, and by pure luck, she survived the battle.
I think so. Because was that when you were showing me Boba Fett too that I didn't know about?
No, this is an all web series. You can actually find it in Amazon. But I remember watching. I think it was the 90s, maybe. It's so far. It's a comedy. It's definitely a how you call it, a parody. Let me see if I can find images here. And I'm gonna screen share real quick. And if you guys haven't seen it, it's really nice. It's really cool, funny to watch. So I invite everybody to. Let's see. And that's her. It's Pink 5.
Pink 5.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Look what it says on the helmet.
Chicks rules. Hell yeah.
See, so you see there's a clip from CNN News, They're quoting this back in the day, and it says Luke, Leia, Chewie, Stacy. So now we have Stacy in the Star Wars universe.
Misa wants that booty.
Shame they didn't call her Karen. It would have worked better.
No, I don't think she could be a Karen. She's too it's just
aloof,
straight
too
up.
aloof and flaky.
And I don't know if I'm going to give you spoilers because this is really old, but it turned out that she is a Sith at the end.
Yeah, I remember.
So let me go ahead and feature again, so you can see Stacy as a Sith. Again, same Stacy with her, clueless, being clueless. And there you go.
Yep. I
Stacy
mean,
as a
after
Sith.
I found out that Jar Jar Binks became a Sith or was a Sith all along, nothing surprised me. Yes, Tim, Jar Jar Binks is a Sith and is one of the most eminent characters of Star Wars.
And there goes Captain
He's
Chaos.
gonna be jumping and raging in his seat when he listens to this.
Speaking of fight. And yeah, I know, Drew, you love Jar Jar Binks. I know it. You're just doing this to show people, but Drew, I know inside you love Jar Jar Binks.
Needs to be a dark Jedi.
Oh wow. So that
Hey,
concludes.
before we get too far away from the whole anthology thing, I just wanted to mention there's one on Netflix called Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh, I love that show, man.
We need to do an episode on that. But
I already
deciding which one we'd actually do would be the hard part because it's
I
so
already
good.
have it. I already have it.
I want to do the 3 Robux, man.
I want to do the fridge.
Oh, the fridge is amazing too. I mean, this show is masterful, man. I love this show. Have you watched it, Miguel?
Loved. It sounds familiar.
It's
I think I
There's
remember
3
watching
seasons of it now.
one episode. They're all different episodes, right? It's not the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
They're like short.
isn't there one where like this girl turns into like this creature in like a fighting
Yes,
ring?
that's the first episode.
Okay, so I have seen it. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I've
that show was
probably
amazing.
seen that one, maybe a couple others, but it's a pretty cool concept. It's kind of cool how it's. I think I also saw one where like this colony in a fridge.
Yes,
that's
the one that
freezer or
was
something.
saying.
That's
Yeah,
the
It's a
one.
really
yeah,
one,
it's
like,
really
from
really
Stone
interesting.
Age.
My
That show
favorite
is
one is
amazing.
Snow in the Desert. Do you remember Snow in the Desert?
Snow in the Desert
No, I
is the
don't
one that
remember.
they
I
have
don't think
like the
I've
big
watched that
wells
much
on
of it.
the wells that are under the ocean, and
No.
they're like going to the ice to fish. They have to be runners.
No. It's the one where the guys sort of hold up in the desert because he's wanted, and they come after him, and this girl protects him, and turns out she's a cyborg.
I'm gonna look it up. No, I have not.
Snow
There's like 2
in
or
the
3
Desert.
episodes I haven't watched.
It's got Alita Battle Angel vibes. That's why I like it so much.
Oh, I'm gonna check it out. one of the
Season
ones
2.
funniest that I've watched is the one with the military guys that they go into a base and there's like a cyborg grizzly bear.
Oh wow.
I love that show, man.
Yeah, but the fridge colony was excellent. That was a great one.
That was good.
And he has one of my all time celebrity crush, Bacon Cell.
Oh, Kate.
She's gorgeous, man. Ramona Flowers, man.
So, I guess that concludes our voicemail section.
That went for a while, didn't it?
Yeah, we can.
Do you think that we're gonna be able to upload this, man?
Well, no, I'm gonna have to split it. But anyway, we actually were collecting some information that I think might be good to share, and I'm not sure. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. If you look at Trello and see what you guys, out of the questions there, what you guys are most curious about, and we can just share with the audience. This was actually an idea that we collaborated on that I think might be something that you guys might want to know about our show. So, and before we move on to that, I just want to kind of feature the different locations that you guys are listening to. as a way of saying thank you. So this podcast, I have here top 5 locations where this show has been most downloaded. So I guess it's not a surprise to me that United States is number 1 on this list, because obviously we are from Florida. But we want to thank everybody that is listening to our show from here. And when you listen to this show, go ahead and reach out to us and let us know. Yeah, hey, I'm from the United States. I also want to mention a big thanks to Germany. Thank you so much for listening to our show. We also have the United Kingdom. Thank you so much. Number 4th comes Canada. Thank you guys in Canada.
The kindest people that like mayonnaise. Mwah. And home to one of my idols, Jordan B. Peterson, which I would love to have in our show too.
Nice. And can you guys guess who comes in at number 5?
Who?
Australia.
I there, mate.
Thank you, Australia.
Right.
Shout out to the kangaroos.
Hey, dude, I want to see a picture of a kangaroo listening to our podcast, man. That would be awesome.
I'll Photoshop that up, man.
So, the list is long, and I just have to mention that it's very humbling when we first started this podcast, and I looked at the locations where the podcast has been listened to, and I remember only seeing United States and only seeing Florida on the list. And fast forward to today, where I cannot, I guess it would be a long episode in itself if I mentioned all the countries that this show is being listened to it. So, although I have not mentioned your country, I really, really want to appreciate you guys listening to our show from wherever you are in. So thank you so much. And there you go. We have a kangaroo listening to Science Fiction Remnant.
Boing,
Nice.
boing. I guess
Got the glasses
Ray,
and everything.
Yeah, it's a hipster. And Ray, could you confirm for me then that things in Australia are hopping?
Oh yes, that's an Eastern variety. That one.
Better than boom boom.
You guys, we collected a list of things that we think our audience might want to know about us when it comes to our show. We can go down the list if you like, or we can just pick and choose. You guys,
I have one that I can pick.
Go ahead.
The what the fuck moments.
I don't know if Miguel can participate in this one. I don't know how many episodes he has.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday moments.
But yes, I'm kind of curious because I've been thinking about this one for a moment, and maybe after hearing you guys' thoughts on your most memorable W2F on this show, maybe stir something in me that I might remember. So I don't know who wants to go first.
Well, my WTF I was going to use during my top 5 episodes, but
okay. Well, it can be both.
It could
but
be.
I can do it now. Just give me a second.
Oh man, the man has his notes. Finally, notes are useful for something.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Alien bootleg Chinese translation.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, Ray, what's the plot? What's the plot for us today?
Well, this was the plot that I fed these guys with no warm up. They didn't know this was coming during the Alien episode. To go back one step, a lot of the times I would listen to the podcast in season 1, and they'd just start talking, and it'd be like, I don't have a reference point where this is in the movie and what. So when I joined the podcast, I went, look, we've got to go through the plot. We just got to help people, wrap their head around the story. So when you're talking about it, it makes more sense because scientists want to make sense. 1 out of 3. But anyway, so I instigated this. Let's run the plot, and I usually just pinch the plots off Wikipedia because that's good enough. We just need to give the listener a guide to. They may have not seen the property for a while. Just remind them what happens in the story. So then when we start talking about the character names and stuff, it means something to them. So fast forward to, a couple of months into this year, and we do the movie Alien. Love that movie. It's fantastic. And Robert, who I trained by that stage to call for the plot, just before we start talking about the movie itself, after the other segments, he said, Ray, give us the plot of Alien. So I read this out to him. Spaceship people get up from sleeping coffin and have eat. Computer woman finds strange noisings on planet and astronauts go to scene. Astronauts find big elephant man who dead, then find too many egg. Astronaut is possessed by egg demon and new egg demon is come from eat bad noodle. Several friends and cat try to find egg demon before spaceship go home, but it's hard working. Who will life to escaping? Who is bad milk blood robot? Scream not working because space make death.
That sounds more interesting than watching Velocipastor.
I broke my co-hosts.
Oh my God. I invite you to
a couple of minutes.
You gotta
This is
listen
the
to
plot
our
that broke
internet.
internet. This plot won internet.
It broke us. He broke.
Does not compute. Does not
I
compute.
broke my co-hosts.
I invite you guys to download that episode. It was, oh my God. And then comment. Reach out to us and let us know what you guys think.
Yep.
Now we cannot replicate this, unfortunately. That is just so.
I'm
epic.
working on something, Ray. Don't worry.
We tried running plot synopses through multiple Google Translates, and it just doesn't come up with anything nearly as awesome as that.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay, so
that was my W2F moment, and probably yours as well.
Yeah.
Because you were wondering what the hell I was doing.
Gio, I think you mentioned a couple. I don't know.
I didn't think of that one, but I mean, 2 WTF moments right off the bat is the 2 15-minute movies that took us 2 hours and a half to actually record. And we were very sure it was going to be a short episode.
Yeah.
Never say that. Never say
We
that.
learn not to say that anymore.
And I think that I surprised myself and you guys on our recent episode on Human Be Gone, Tingle Danger.
Yeah, that's what we get when we have Captain Chaos without any sleep.
And any substance, because I was sober too.
Oh wow. Yeah.
He went all the way around and came back to making sense, and that was scary.
Too much sense for my own good.
Captain Chaos making sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, for God's sakes, I make you both guys just drop draw on my enigmatic, deep, meaningful thoughts. I gave you a peek into God's realm. My mind.
You were channeling God's armpit.
Hey, it's still God. I don't care. He could be his toes.
Wow. I don't know why I find that question. Maybe because I'm just so busy on the organizing stage of the podcast. But I don't know. Maybe because I got cured by Captain Chaos and now nothing is WTF anymore.
Yeah.
I
I normalize it, man.
You're immune.
I'm immune.
Yep, that's true, man. That's what happens when you get too much of something. You don't taste it anymore.
You call it insanity. We call it Sunday night.
I guess I'll bring on the next one, and basically on my next one, I'm going to cover a whole bunch of different things all at once. So when you guys look in the Trello, I'm going to be covering like 6 or 7 all at once. So when doing the analyzing for the show, for some reason I thought in my mind that, boy, we seem to be covering a lot of anime for season 2.
Thanks, Ray.
But isn't that the consensus? That's what I normally. Boy, were we are wrong.
And a lot of 80s movies too, right, Robert?
We are we are wrong. Because when I was doing the analytics per category of all the episodes, and I'm doing season 1 and season 2 together, we only have 7 episodes on anime. That, I don't know, for some reason that surprised me, because I could have sworn we have done a lot more anime on our show than just 7 episodes.
Yeah.
We have done 2 comic books. We have done 3 books. We have done 1 radio show. That's the one with Madison on the air. We have done 2 podcasts, 2 games, 16 TV shows, and 65 movies. So I just found that to be interesting, because I could have sworn that we have at least 20 animes. At least that's my perception. But nope, it's only 7. So what do you
that
guys
just means we need to do more of them.
Yeah. And there's a long there's a list.
We need to do more video games.
Have you guys done Psychopaths?
What do you mean, like in a whole subgenre? Psychopath?
You mean like Captain Chaos?
It's no Psychopath. It's an anime.
Oh, Mob Psycho.
It's a sci-fi anime. So
Mob
yeah,
Psycho?
so just to like summarize it, yeah, pretty much. So just to like summarize it for you guys, Psychopaths is this. It starts with this police force, and what they do is that they go around. They have these guns that meter how psychotic somebody is, and if they're over the top, they just kill them.
Oh, I'm gonna look that up, man.
Just to summarize it for you, the ending gets deep. I'm not gonna ruin it for you because I know if you guys watch it, you guys are gonna like it. But it's very like it's almost like that anime they made a movie out of recently, well, a few years ago. I forgot, but it's sci-fi world, sci-fi
Ghost in the
weaponry.
Ghost in the Shell, you mean?
Yes, it's almost like Ghost in the Shell.
I'm gonna check it out. I was seeing an anime like that was more like Minority Report kind of plot. Like they can, like Minority Report from Tom Cruise, that they can predict when somebody's gonna make a crime and they catch him before it happens. So I'm gonna check that out.
It's like that. It's similar to that, yeah. But
I think I have it on my list.
The ending is just like it's short. It's not long. I think it's only like 2 or 3 seasons. So it's short. It's short enough where you can sit enough and watch it on a weekend or something like that. So, but it's really good. If you guys watch it, I don't know where you can find it now. I think I watched it the last time was on I think it was Netflix actually, but a long time ago. So I don't know where you could find it, but I had to watch it with English subtitles with Japanese.
I'm gonna check it out. And just to close in, and you Robert and Ray can confirm to me, I've come to the conclusion that short animes are the formula for good stories. Usually, when it extends over too long, usually it kills the desire for the audience. But most animes that have been legend and great stories be told that lives through times, Bubblegum Crisis, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, just to name a few, everybody likes them when they watch it. So usually a short anime is gonna be a great experience to watch.
Okay. So I guess in closing, I'm just going to go ahead and take other questions that I have in here. So we have a total. Let me see here. Other questions that I have had is, like, for example, how many episodes has Geo been in? So we have in season 1 we have a total of 50 episodes, and season 2 is 38 episodes. For Ray, season 1 we have 2 episodes, and season 2 we have 41 episodes. So that makes Ray
You
a
won season 2,
23.
Ray, but I'll catch up to you.
Yes, yes. And I don't know if you guys want to. I mean, we have a total of 46 guests across season 1 and season 2.
It's a lot of guests.
Yeah. And we have a
Tell me,
couple.
what are your favorite? Tell me your. It says 5, but just tell me your top 2 or 3 favorite episodes that we have recorded.
Oh, me?
Yeah, all of you. If you have 1 or up to 3, or your favorite like IPs that we covered.
I'll go pretty fast. And I'm gonna give you my top 5. I got 2001: Space Odyssey, Arrival, His Robot Girlfriend, Gattaca, and Logan's Run.
You, Ray?
Logan's Run that we did twice.
Yes.
Yeah, because we couldn't record for.
Like Logan ran, and then Logan ran again.
Yes, that's true.
Oh dear. I've got 6 in my top 5 because I just couldn't get rid of one. At number 6 was when you guys did Alita Battle Angel, because that's what got me into this podcast in the first place. But it was more a case of how you guys get so many things wrong was the thing that stuck with me for that one. And then movie Evolution, which we did recently, when I realized that the plot was the same as Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It was like a seriously, go and watch Ghostbusters and then go and watch Evolution, and you'll actually
It's an absolutely. It's actually.
It is the same plot. Then number 4 was Anime Darling and the Franks. We had a great discussion about anime and why it's focused on kids in middle school or high school a lot of the time. Which I actually found out something new about that the other day, that a lot of Japanese people consider high school as the high point of their lives. After you start working, it's all downhill. So that's why anime focuses on that time of your life, or that time of life, because people in Japan think that's the best part of your life. When you're becoming an adult and you're discovering all these wonderful things, but you don't have all the responsibility yet.
You're just getting dropped into the Matrix. Full on.
My number 3 was the radio show Madison on the Air, which was War of the Worlds. That was so much fun.
Yes, it was.
And Madison, the character of Madison was amazing. The second one was the movie Alien, because of what we laughed about a couple of minutes ago. And my number 1 is actually one that I wasn't involved in. It was just you two guys. It was the movie Pitch Black. We had a discussion of planetary and moon orbits with multiple suns.
Because of all the horrible things that I said, probably.
Yes, you completely got stuck into it. And it was like 20 minutes of just this discussion about, but it couldn't have done that because the orbit was like this, and oh no, actually the planetary gravity and the movement, and I was like, oh my god, what are you guys smoking?
You don't want to know.
But that was actually the episode, and I recommend everybody go back and have a listen to that one. That was the episode that got me into this podcast, literally and figuratively.
Nice, man. Well, I'll say quick that Ad Astra was my number 1 because I enjoyed with this gentleman actually having that conversation, because we actually are very much alike in our taste. So we actually were able to dive in very deep in the conversation on all the aspects of the movie, which is some of the things that I love doing. Hell yes. Predestination, I love too. Also, I love Barbarella because we have one of our favorite guests.
Nikky.
Dear Nikky. What else? Also, I love. We did Evolution. Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Great movie. And last but not least, Alita Battle Angel, bro.
Heck yeah. Okay, so
I definitely like the Ad Astra one. I like the Ready Player One because I like the movie.
Oh, that's a great movie,
even
man.
though the movie was like, it was a little too realistic for what's going on now in society, but I like that one. And I think you guys did a Back to the Future one, and I watched that one too, and that was I like that one. I like the older movies.
Oh
I
yeah.
like $1 Million Man, those kind of like older, you know.
Okay, so
Nice.
I guess my final things here to cover is like top one most downloaded episode as we spoke is you guys already know it's 2001 Space Odyssey. The most watched on YouTube is actually Contact. Figure that. That was a
Love
really
that
good
movie.
episode.
I love
I
that
like the
movie.
conversation that we had. Yes.
That was one of
So
like kind of my gateway movie to sci-fi, if you think about it. And I was a kid when I watched it.
awesome. So if you guys like what we do, help us out. Share our show with your friends and family. Give us a 5-star reviews and on your favorite platforms. Don't forget GoodPods. Go ahead and give us 5-star reviews on GoodPods. Subscribe to our platforms. Right now, I don't know if you guys know, we just reached 107 subscribers on YouTube. Um, keep it coming. Subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on all the platforms, whatever platforms you actually use to listen to us. Join our Discord. Let's grow the community. The whole idea of Discord is to try to grow the sci-fi community, not just necessarily about our show. But if you listen to our show, you know that it's all about the sci-fi community, even in each one of our episodes. um if you want to help out even further with the cost of this show, our Patreon is only $3 a month, and you can listen to our shows commercial free. We do have an MAA on Discord for Patreon members, and I believe after 3 months you actually get a sticker. Or if you don't want to go through Patreon, you can buy us a coffee. We're anything that you can give us. So I want to say thanks for all of you guys to be here on and help us celebrate our 100th episode. We will not be here if it wasn't for you. You guys are awesome and amazing. Thank you so much for listening to our show. We are so glad that you like what we have to provide, that you like our content. I want to thank Miguel
Yes,
for
man.
finally being here. This would probably be your second episode on the show. Physically, you have been in every episode since, and we can't wait to have you again for another episode. So we got to pick a movie or something you can come back with. So thank you so much for
Well,
being
hey,
here.
like I said, this Friday I'll go over there, man. We'll watch Tenet. You know, spend the day, have some whiskey, talk about it. If you want to shoot an episode, whatever you guys want, man. You know, I'm always down for you guys.
Awesome.
I like that. Thank you, man.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much. Again, we are so thankful because you guys allow us to reach our 100th episode.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. We
And
love you.
Just to say goodbye, Ray. Thank you for being in this episode, man. We appreciate your presence in here. It makes it all different. You're amazing. Viva Alita Army.
Yes, in that we all agree. So thank you, everybody. I hope to see you on our next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.